No, I don't think there's gonna be. I don't think there's gonna be loot boxes in it. It's just gonna be like one of those things where it's just
Old school AAA game.
Wow. Old school story driven game.
Hey everyone, it's John Trent here with Bounding into Comics. I'm joined by my co-hosts Drew Taylor, Philip Pratt, and Donald Edmonds. How are y'all doing? Hey Stefano and Mark, thanks for joining us.
What up, Mark?
How are you guys doing? We got a bunch of topics to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the Sonic redesign and the new trailer. We're going to talk about a little bit more of the Mandalorian. If you missed out on last night, we got Philip here. He's going to talk to us, give us his opinions. He wasn't able to join us last night, so we're going to get to hear what he thought about the Mandalorian. We're also going to talk a little bit about some Disney Plus in the MCU. We got Falcon's new costume. We got a Gargoyles relaunch campaign. We've got James Bond rumors. There's really a lot to talk about. I know Drew wants to talk about CM Punk potentially returning to WWE. What is it? WWE Overnight or something? Is that what it's called?
WWE Backstage. Yeah, it's a studio show.
Okay. Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about. Let's start off with Sonic. What did you guys check out the new trailer?
Yeah, I thought it came off really well. I mean, the way that this Sonic looks, oh my god, it's like so 100% like better. And it just flows with the trailer better. I enjoyed watching the trailer now as compared to the early stuff because it was just god awful, man. That Sonic was creepy. We all know that Sonic was creepy.
He had teeth, small chiclet teeth. It was weird.
Man, yeah, it looked like it was like one of them things that was gonna like jump out and eat you. It was like, man.
I kind of agree with Drew. It was a better trailer. My question is, if they had done that trailer but with the old design, would people have still been complaining as much?
Yeah, I think
definitely.
So.
I don't know. The first trailer. Here's the thing. I think people responded better to the second trailer than the first because people voiced their opinion and the studio actually, responded favorably and they changed and they fixed something. So I think that actually left a really good taste in people's mouths. They're like, hey, they listened to us and it looks better. The first trailer, in terms of a trailer, I didn't dislike it. There was parts of it I for whatever reason,
Gangster's Paradise.
Gangster's Paradise. That song, it was weird. It didn't belong. But it was kind of the way they paced it. It was like, okay, it's kind of cool. I don't know why it's there, but it's a cool song and one of my favorite songs of all time. So it's kind of like song a little biased. And I don't know. It's just the second trailer was way better than the first. It's just if we had seen this one first, I think it would have. I think this one got people excited because the way it looks, the way it came off. The first one was kind of distracting. Well, not kind of. It was extremely distracting. This one was. It gave you an idea what they're going after. So
yeah, and it's just like the way everything was laid out. It makes it a lot easier to buy a live action Sonic a lot better than the first trailer did. And I mean, it actually turned a very negative into a positive because I mean, personally, if this was the first trailer I saw, it was just, for the average person, it'll get you excited for the movie. I mean, it piqued my interest. I was like, okay,
I'm gonna watch it now. Yeah,
I would see this if I had money.
When those hospital whales come in.
I thought the first one was. I actually liked the trailer. I just didn't like the design of Sonic. He looked horrible. And I think that's what people were reacting to. I don't think they were like really hating on the trailer. It was just Sonic looked like crap.
Yeah.
And I think so. I still think even if Sonic looked like crap in this second trailer, I think people still would have had a negative reaction to it because it was a horrible design. And they brought in I'm going to say his name wrong, Tyson Hess from Sonic Mania Adventures to lead the redesign. And he obviously did a fantastic job. I mean, they brought in like one of their the new Sonic looks like Sonic. He doesn't look like a freaky like furry.
Yeah, Well, you didn't like the troll design, the carnivorous beast that the last one was.
No. I also think
they could have made a horror movie, Sonic. That would have been good.
But they didn't just change his face; they changed his entire
shape
yeah.
of his body.
The shape of his body.
Yeah,
the fur
he's
on
not
his
as
stomach.
gangly.
Yeah,
they shortened him up. His proportions are more better. He's better proportioned now to look like Sonic instead of having those like long legs,
like a little person. He didn't look like a little person anymore. I didn't like that. It was unnerving, to be honest.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Are there supposed to be like any cameos in there, like Tails or Knuckles or anything?
You talk about his friends, but I'm sure they're trying to save that.
Yeah, because at some point we're spending time in his world, so I think you're gonna see something at some point, either in the very beginning or the very end. You're gonna see somebody. So, and
I actually thought that was something they did well with this second trailer. They opened it up in his world. He's like, it was stuff that I remember from playing the Game Gear game, the hills and the loops and everything, and it was just brought me back to the 90s right there with that, and it was just like that was like very Sonic to me. And so they combined that with the new redesign, and I thought that was really smart on their part. And I think they did an overall job. They knew they messed up. They admitted they made a mistake, and they fixed it. I mean,
I got a question for you guys. Basically all the footage that I saw in the first trailer, I did not see any of it in the second trailer. Do you guys think they did any kind of reshoots or they changed the plot around it at all?
Well, they definitely
they might have, yeah.
Maybe they definitely delayed the movie, so they gave themselves more time to do that stuff. And if the rumors that we're hearing about Star Wars are true, about all the reshoots, and they're still like working on it right now, I mean, it's definitely possible that with animation, it's probably a little bit easier to do that stuff. So yeah, it's definitely possible. And I mean, even with Snyder, all the stuff that he has from his Justice League cut that we don't see. These people they're shooting like tons of stuff so they can do like reworks and stuff in the editing room. So I wouldn't be surprised if they shuffled it around and changed up the story. That doesn't surprise me at all. I feel like that's kind of like Hollywood's MO now.
Well, I feel like Hollywood will start putting out better products if they like actually reach out to audiences and do like a test trailer and say, hey, did you like this? What's your feedback on it? And actually ask and people.
They do test trailers.
I can't believe someone okayed that. That's the thing. They showed that to an audience at some point, and someone said, "Oh, that looks great."
Yeah,
and
it's great.
Who were you talking to? So.
Yeah, but I mean, it would be a lot better if Hollywood was more receptive to changing things around when they suck, instead of forcing out most of the crap that they do.
Well, and I think this is going to buy them some goodwill because again, they did
definitely.
So
I think this is like, I mean, I know we like to harp on The Last Jedi and how Rian Johnson treated fans leading up to that film and then afterwards. And I just wanted to contrast that with what Jeff Fowler, sorry, not Jeff Parker. Like he like came out publicly, like said like, yo, we messed up, we're gonna fix it. And now he's and people they gave us the new trailer, they gave us the new poster, they showed us the new redesign, and he's like thanks for all the good support that y'all are giving us over the past 24 hours after they released the trailer. He's telling people to like keep sharing Sonic the Hedgehog fan art. It's just like night and day with what we saw, like with like what's been going on with the Star Wars community. They're actually like building a relationship with the Sonic fans and trying to like foster that goodwill because they know these are the people who are going to go see their movie. They want these people to go see the movie. So I mean, I give them all the kudos.
Yeah, one day it's up to 16 million views. That's crazy. The last one didn't do that. It was mostly like
that's how to do PR.
16 million views in one day.
Yeah, I wish that's insane. That's really good. But no, I really like where they're going with I like the trailer in general. I like the tone, the vibe. It looked fun. It looked like it reminded me a lot of the Detective. It reminded me a lot of the Detective Pikachu trailers in that movie. And that was a lot of fun
Shazam's trailers.
Shazam, yeah,
yeah,
exactly what it reminded me of. It just looked like fun.
If
Oh,
it goes
and
there,
do you see the up to downs? It's 756,000 to 12,000. That is
exactly.
wow.
I mean, and if it continues like this, I mean, the movie's going to draw and it's going to be successful, and they'll have a sequel in no time.
Or they'll watch Cats instead.
Oh God! Oh God!
Talk about creepy design.
that was oh my God! It was freaking terrifying, dude.
But yeah, I really like the redesign. I'm looking forward to the movie. It's actually something that like excites me. That I'm looking forward to see. And it's been a while. I guess like not a while. Like Joker was there, but I feel like it's few and far between now. I'm like, I'm gonna go see Star Wars, but I'm not like excited to see it.
No,
but, like this actually like
that's a problem.
What's that?
Yeah.
No one's excited to see it.
I know.
Like, well, I think everyone here we're gonna see it, but I'm not gonna.
It's more like curious,
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. It's curious. It's like, what are they going to do? Because all these horror stories, can they all be true? I mean, these test screens I keep hearing are pretty. They sound pretty brutal. But not to get off subject, because we'll go off on a tangent on that, won't we?
Yeah,
but,
we will. Yeah, I think you were talking about they test screen that trailer, but like they pay these people to do these like test screenings.
That's a problem, isn't it?
I do think that is a problem, but I also think that like you're seeing it with like we see it with a lot of these Rotten Tomato scores, the tomato meter compared with the audience scores, is that maybe the people that they're test screening on are not not what they're supposed to be getting. And one of the rumors that I saw is like they actually like break down the audience, whether they're like diehard Star Wars fans, they're like casual Star Wars fans, or they could like give a crap about Star Wars fans. But you're also like having like I feel like in today's world that we live in, people when like you obviously have to poll them to like get that information. People like aren't telling you the truth on those polls anymore because they don't want to be giving out that people aren't like giving out that information on themselves willingly anymore. At least that's what I'm seeing. So even with those test screens, and you're seeing like the types of fans that they're maybe even like breaking it down, like that might not even be true. So you don't really know what you're getting until you get the fan reaction, I guess, when you release it. And that's what's real. If that makes sense.
What could also be a thing is people. I don't want to say use the word. I don't want to use clout chasing, but when you're allowed into these screenings, you sign the NDA. And it's all secretive. Some people in today's day and age where you can actually like become influential and possibly a measure of gain a measure of notoriety and fame out of doing nothing. Some people may be just afraid to voice their real opinion in fear that they won't get access to the next opportunity to do it again. Especially if they're doing this out in California where most people in LA, or not most people, but many people in LA are trying to strike it big. So they're trying to stay in these circles as long as possible. So they might be afraid of not getting access and then not be able to post something later on. And hopefully they'll have access to it because they want to start a YouTube channel, because everyone has that, that dream. So,
well, I mean, that's definitely true. The folks at Sci-Fi Wire admitted
I'm not talking
that,
about you, Don.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The folks at Sci-Fi Wire admitted that. They said that they give favorable coverage to certain films and certain studios because they're afraid of losing the access that they currently have. So they don't write the truth in their reviews or in their coverage, and they've admitted that. So that definitely is something that does happen.
Oh, so they're testing their movies in echo chambers. Good, great job.
No wonder I don't have any connections out here.
Yeah, so this was I thought it was last year, but it was actually in March. We covered that story. Here, I'll put it in the chat here. So yeah, they admitted that on their like Sci-Fi Wire podcast. I was shocked that they would do that, but they did. It was fascinating to hear that.
Did that person get fired after admitting that, or were they just fired? Because that seems pretty sensitive.
I think they're still there. I haven't followed up.
Huh.
But it was like the editor-in-chief of Sci-Fi Wire was on. It was like their top folks there, on their publishing side.
Interesting.
So.
It's not unlike what was that company that where all their staff quit and the people who ran the company didn't make sure they changed their credentials for their social media and left these people have access to their Twitter and so started throwing stuff out there. I was like, wow, you guys are stupid.
Wow. I have not. What happened there? I haven't heard.
Was it Deadspin?
Oh, I thought only like one person got fired from that.
No, people quit.
Oh,
they got fired.
They were quitting.
The writing staff quit. And the person who did their social media also quit. So, and I guess his manager, whoever's in charge of that person, didn't change the credentials, and the guy still had control over their social media after he quit. Which was like, wow, that's pretty stupid.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, let's switch gears here to the Mandalorian. Let's get your take, Phil. First off, because we haven't heard it yet. What did you think?
Again, not the biggest Star Wars fan in the world. I'm very much a casual fan. As I was watching it, I could see where some people might have a problem because I'm not a Star Wars guy, but I know what Star Wars feels like, and some of it didn't feel like a Star Wars movie or a show or franchise or anything that had to do with Star Wars. It didn't make it less good. I mean, it was very, very well shot. It was entertaining enough, but it didn't feel, in places, it didn't feel like a lot of Star Wars. It felt like something else, but it was still entertaining. I thought it was good. I thought the dialogue was good. I didn't have any real issues with what was happening on screen. I was expecting it to be a little bit more on the woke sides at some point, but it never came, so I was kind of shocked. So
there was a severe lack of women in that whole thing.
Oh, here we go. See, now we're gonna change.
Yeah, I'll say it right now. Yeah,
the Yoda was the little baby Yoda is probably a female.
Probably.
That's the theory.
There you go.
That's the theory out there that I'm seeing. But yeah, there weren't any female characters.
Well, I mean the armorer, but
the armor and the
but
blurgs were females because all the males die in the mating process.
That's funny.
Yeah, see there you go. They're female blurs.
That's what happens when you have a guy be the GM of an RPG. That's Filoni right there.
On the next episode of Star Wars RPG, we will.
he's getting. They get their sidekick in Gina Carano. So
yeah, he starts.
I forgot she was going to be in this. Yeah,
he starts to gain party members, and he'll level up.
I'm trying to see where Drew's going with this in his opinion of the show. But overall, I thought it was entertaining. I liked it. I didn't have any real issues with it at all. I thought the action was good. The ending was kind of like, I'm not sure if they were trying to be funny with the android threatening to blow himself up every 5 minutes. I thought it was kind of hilarious. So
that was rather humorous.
Yeah, that was definitely supposed to be comedic relief.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. He's like, setting detonation. I was like, oh, he's going to do it again. He's like, no, turn it off.
That's a Star Wars trope. The droids are always supposed to be comedic relief. C-3PO and K-2SO in Rogue One, and then they tried to replace C-3PO with Jar Jar Binks in Phantom Menace.
Oh, Ironcaster's comment is great. I can't wait for the entire episode dedicated to shopping for gear at the tavern.
Hey, don't knock on the RPGs, man. That's something that Japan has perfected. I'm a huge fan of the Rising the Shield hero. He's basically transported into this alternate universe, and he literally levels up by killing monsters. He goes to the shop to buy his equipment. He has a party of all women. He goes on quests. He fights big monsters. It's highly entertaining. And Sword Art Online he's basically living in an RPG.
Yeah, it almost feels that way. Like we were talking about it last night. It's like it's almost like playing or like watching the bounty hunter story on SWTOR. But
I'm actually playing Final Fantasy VII again, over again because I have an Xbox. I'm not buying a PlayStation 4 just to play the next Final Fantasy VII remake. That's not happening. So I've been playing the original over again. So I'm a JRPG fan. So, and now that you're talking about it, I'm starting to see more, likenesses to it. So it's pretty cool.
He gets the what was it called, the little
armor
silver
upgrade,
the little silver thing, and he gets the armor upgrade. Yeah.
Yeah,
He goes and gets it crafted
The loot
with
box.
armor.
he got the purple pauldron.
Going to save the little Yoda was literally a quest.
Yep.
The quest giver is the guild leader
There you go. There you go.
My thing is, if the droids are that effective in battle, why do they have flesh and blood people at all? Just throw 5 of them out there and it'll take out a whole village, won't they?
Yeah, I did think IG-11 was a little OP. I was expecting that given the fact that the Nick Nolte's little Ugnaught character had said that so many people had come there and failed before him, you would have thought that they would have had some kind of anti-droid device that you could use. I mean, we saw that. I would assume there's some kind of that's something that they could a stun grenade or something that could shut down internal wiring or something, internal power or something like that.
Everybody on that planet or everybody in that area was horrible shots.
Oh, they were stormtroopers. They just weren't wearing the white armor.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, you know what's funny is the droid was using hacks. He was using an aimbot.
Oh,
it was like
would have been a good party member. Would have been a good party member.
It was like that face Jarvis thing, John. He's using an aimbot.
I actually think the bot had too much what's the word?
Autonomy?
Personality. I think they're gonna bring it back. I don't think it's done.
I'm assuming that
it had too much personality. I mean, he had too many speaking lines. It was like for cannon fodder, he said an awful lot.
So
if they don't bring him back this season, they will definitely bring him back next season because he's Darth Maul, pretty much.
I got the vibe that the droid was set up to be a party member.
Yeah, Robo and Chrono Trigger.
I've seen posters where he's there in the party. It looks like I don't know if those are fan posters or legit posters, but those are definitely posters.
He's too he's too useful to not show up again. I mean, he did a lot of work. I mean, goodness gracious, he stood in the middle of the street just taking people out, spinning in circles. Like, wow, you don't need help.
So Ironcaster says that I feel like the self detonation was done one too many times. I will agree. I thought after the second or third time that was good, but he kept doing it. And I was like, all right, dude. I was just just shoot the droid so he doesn't blow himself up. Or I thought he was going to take the little grenade that was it looked like it was like a grenade.
It was a thermal detonator.
Yeah, thermal detonator that he opened up from his chest. I thought that he was just going to take it and use that to attack the guys. It's before.
Yeah, that would have been sweet, dude. If he would have just grabbed it out of the droid's chassis and turned it.
Yeah, I thought that's what was going to happen before the 50 cal blaster showed up.
I'm not sure if it's safe to walk around with the droid with an explosive in his chest, especially if your things are shooting at you. There's a chance it might get shot. So hey,
I would like to see a thermal detonator actually go off in one of these things.
Yeah, there was it a fake one in Return of the Jedi? That
Leia turned it on and then she turned it off because they agreed to her terms. And I'm like, okay, should have just chucked that thing.
Yeah, right at Jabba.
You sound like the Chimera character in House of X or Powers of 10, where she said she wanted to see what it was like inside of a black hole, and she pulled off.
Anyway, but yeah, good RPG, good part.
For sure.
There's another episode coming on Friday, right?
Yeah,
Friday. One of the things that we talked about yesterday was that the episode was shorter than what we expected. 36 minutes total.
Yeah.
If you discount the credits at the end. I think it was 40 minutes with the credits, but 36 minutes of actual footage.
Like how did you find the pacing of it, Phil? Because I thought the pacing of it was just a tad like too fast.
I didn't think it was fast more than for only being 36 minutes. I think they got a lot done. I would have appreciated another 10, minutes of actual footage. But in terms of the pacing, the first part did not match how it ended. I would say, or how I would say that much, or I would say the first and the last parts were the same speed. Everything in the middle was really slow. And like the whole learning to, I don't think it was necessary to have that part where he was learning how to ride the thing, whatever.
Oh, dude, we hated on that last time.
Yeah, that was.
I didn't understand. That seemed kind of out of place from what you saw in the beginning, first 5 to 15 minutes of the show to the last 15 minutes of the show. That middle part with I didn't see why it was there. So pacing, I think they could have went stronger. From what I understand is that one of the animating directors directed this first episode.
Yeah, Dave Filoni did.
Yeah, not Favreau, which I thought was kind of weird. It's like, why wouldn't they just let Favreau just do the first episode? I mean, it is technically his, feature. Let him do the first 1 or 2 episodes so he can set it up and go from there. I thought that would make more sense.
That's usually how it works. So yeah, that was a little bit surprising. But everything I've seen promoting The Mandalorian, Filoni's right there with Favreau. So I think they're just like two peas in a pod.
They're switching off to it too, probably.
Oh, there's gonna be like a bunch of directors this season, right?
Yeah.
Taika's doing 1 or 2 of them.
He was a voice of the robot too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's IG-11. You have Bryce Dallas Howard's doing some. The person who's doing what's her name? She's doing something else too. She's doing one of the MCU shows. Chow, I think is her name. Deborah Chow.
Yeah.
Deborah Chow.
Isn't Bryce Dallas Howard pretty good though?
I've never seen her direct anything. Or maybe I have and I just don't realize it. She is the daughter of Ron Howard, who did Solo.
She was a half decent actress, though, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was in Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man. She was Gwen Stacy. No, was she in Spider-Man 3? She was Gwen Stacy.
Oh yeah, she was a blonde. And I'm looking at the picture. I know this woman.
Yeah, she was in The Village. She played the redhead in The Village.
So she's naturally a redhead because if Ron Howard's her father, then yeah, she's gonna.
Yeah, she's a natural redhead.
She's a ginger.
I'm trying to figure out. I could have swore that they had directing credits on IMDb on here earlier, but I'm not seeing it right now.
I don't know. I feel like the show's okay. I mean, I've seen people going overboard, gushing over it, like giving it like 10 out of 10 and stuff like that.
No, it's not a 10.
That's happening because of what they've gotten from the franchise in the past couple of years.
That's a low bar.
Yeah, exactly. So anything better than what they've gotten, they're like, "Oh, this is great. This is wonderful. This is perfect." Because look at what they've been dealing with.
It's like having water all your life and someone puts some sugar in it. Sugar.
I mean, when I'll be honest. Like at first, I was like all stoked about it after I watched it one time, and then after watching it like another time, I was like, okay, I was able to like look at it more objectively and say, okay, yeah, this is about a 6-7 range type of deal. Same.
Yeah, I went back and I looked at that walrus scene. That entire scene took place in a minute. Like from when the speeder gets eaten to when he like shocks it, it's done within a minute. And
that's like half the show.
Yeah. and one of the things that I saw is like after he shocks the walrus, and he's still standing on the ledge of the ship literally turns while he's still standing and starts flying off up and into space where there's no one piloting it.
He probably set the course already, maybe give it.
He did go in and like push he pushed 2 buttons, one above and one below, and then he grabbed on. But I just thought that was funny.
Benefit of the doubt,
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a perfect pilot, but it sets up to be a decent series for what it is. I don't think it's going to be like, this like world shaking thing that a lot of people think it's going to be, but I think it's going to be like, an entertaining, solid series. But it's not world shaking. It's not.
Here's the thing. I think if you want to transition into something about what this can actually create in the future. If this is a success, you can expect not just more Star Wars stuff coming from Disney Plus, but a plethora of different franchises getting a second chance on Disney Plus on the platform. If this works, then sky's the limit, and we may be getting things that we never thought that we'd actually get from Disney if this works.
Well, I
want to segue there, Phil.
I want to see them do like if they're gonna do an original series like this, do something similar with a smuggler then too. I want to see like a smuggler that's not Han Solo or related to Han Solo.
What was that Super NES game that wasn't Han Solo back in the day?
No, what?
Oh, are you talking about Dash Rendar?
Oh yeah, way back.
You're not thinking of Dark Forces, are you?
Throwing way back to the Super NES days.
You're not thinking of Dark Forces, are you?
Was Dash Rendar on SNES? SNES?
SNES.
Yes.
I've never heard that. Someone call it that.
I remember playing
no,
that game, and it's like my dad got it for me. I was like, yeah, it's not Han Solo, but it's kind of like the same guy.
I think Dash Rendar is canon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
He was in Solo: A Star Wars Story, Tales from Vandor, which is canon. He was in but Legends, he was wasn't he the main character? Shadows of the Empire. Yeah. Was that on SNES?
I don't know. I just reference him as the discount Han Solo.
He is canon though.
Oh, really?
So yeah. In a novel. The one thing I do have a worry about with The Mandalorian is that his character isn't going to be as conflicted as or he isn't going to be as like bounty hunter Boba Fettish as what I thought. I think he's definitely going to be more on the light side of things. But we'll see if that'll be changed. Because I had there were too many things that were kind of like lining up in that with like he only took like half credit and like didn't say anything about it. And then he shot IG-11. Which that was just weird. I still like don't understand. There's obviously two different bounties on this little Yoda, because IG-11 said that his bounty was to kill it first, whereas obviously we heard from what's his name that I'm blanking on his name. The Empire's guy was bring it alive first, but if you can't, you can kill it too.
Yeah.
All right, but I know Phil, we were talking about if Disney Plus is a success, and we see a lot of people binging certain series, like Disney starts seeing that there's obviously series that are like extremely popular, and that maybe if they do some new stuff, they can keep getting people on to the service and keep watching and keep subbing. And one of those is possibly Gargoyles. And the creator of one of the creators of Gargoyles, who's also a Young Justice creator, and he was on Star Wars Rebels. The dude's got some good animation chops. Greg Weisman was telling Gargoyles fans to keep binging Gargoyles because that is how they might get a new season of Gargoyles, which would probably, from everything that I was doing a little bit of research on Weisman, it would probably be either adapted from his 12-issue comic book run that he did with SLG Comics, which was a continuation from season 2, which disregards the ABC Saturday morning third season, the Goliath Chronicles.
Yeah, that was a big steaming pile. I remember that.
Yeah, so he did not like what happened there. So it would either adapt it would more than likely adapt from that comic book run, because that he says that is canon, or maybe you start after the comic book run and move from there. Or you could even talk about it, or if they wanted to do something completely different, maybe a different Gargoyle clan.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Ooh.
A little fact about Gargoyles. That third season of Gargoyles Chronicles, he had no involvement with that series except for the first episode or the first 2 episodes, which it's basically canon, and everything after that was all ABC nonsense because they kind of threw out everything they had planned and went their own way. So if you watch that first or 1 or 2 episodes, you're going to see like, wow, this feels a lot. Feels like a continuation we had last season. Then after that, it just goes straight off the rails and do its own thing. The different clans, that'd be great because if you watch the ginormous season 2, you know that there's gargoyle clans all across the world that still are alive. Like I think Japan, Avalon,
yeah.
I
The
think
ones that face the east.
yeah, the Amazon, I think London. So yeah, there's a few places where the gargoyles are still alive, other than New York City, which it's kind of weird to have gargoyles, but it's great. I for one, I think this is a great idea, but the only issue I really have is Disney's track record with the franchise. It's a beloved series that everyone that grew up watching has been asking about. You have Kevin Feige, who almost going on 5 years now. He's been wanting to do something with it, and then nothing happened. The Greg Weisman comic book, the only reason it ended is because Disney jumped the price on their licensing fee for the franchise, and they couldn't afford it anymore.
AKA they shut it down.
Yeah, and
they knew what they were doing. They wanted to shut it down.
It's like I never really understood Disney's problem with Gargoyles, or whatever exec had some kind of vendetta against the production company or the producers. I don't know what's going on, but it seems like Disney, for whatever reason, doesn't like money, which can't be right.
No.
Well, that seems to be what the case is recently, that they don't like money. Their parks are struggling. I don't know if y'all watched that, did any diving into the Q4, but I looked into a lot of that stuff, and I just haven't gotten a story up on it yet, or done a video yet. But the only reason that their parks are still being profitable right now is because they're doing what the comic books have done. They're jacking the prices up, but their attendance is stagnant or has even declined. So they're getting more revenue from less people attending their parks, which isn't usually a good sign. And they admit that. They said they're getting more revenue from increased sales on their food and beverages in the parks, and the increase in the gift shop items too. But their actual attendance is stagnant.
Pay me more money or die.
Yeah,
it's hot outside. You're gonna dehydrate and you're hungry, so pay me more money.
Yeah, and they blamed the stagnant attendance in Q4 on the hurricane, Hurricane Dorian, which was a week in Q4.
Yeah, I remember. I was here.
So
I live in Florida.
That
hurricane sucked. I mean, it was a hurricane that didn't show up, and then when it did show up, it kind of just went somewhere else. It was a waste of a week. I was on vacation. It screwed up. It screwed up my entire plans for that for 3 days. We're sitting here waiting for a hurricane that never showed up. So
right. Oh, that's horrible, man. That sucks. Yeah, it definitely didn't hit Orlando. There were just reports that it was going to get there, and it never did because it went right up the coast, right?
Yeah. It went up towards you, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so, but it never made it here. I mean, we might have got a little bit of rain, but I think it went off into the Atlantic. I think it might have hit Virginia Beach more than it hit me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's definitely, they're doing the same thing that they're doing with comic books, and you're seeing that comic book sales, I think, are they're pretty much stagnant with what they were last year, which was a 6% decline from the previous year, but they're selling a lot less comics. And DC's basically cut the comics that they're producing in half. They aren't even producing as many. And then it looks to me just looking at what I'm seeing from previews, a lot of these Marvel books are going for $6-7 now. There's more of those than there are the $3.99.
Yeah, I've noticed that with my X-Men books. Everything seems to be $4.99 or better. But everything's been. I think the 2 I picked up today were both under $4. I paid $8 total for everything, so it might have been $3.99 each. So
Were
Yeah, I
those number
remember
one? Those weren't number one issues, though, right?
One was.
Okay, one was.
Yeah.
I remember my Fallen Angels was number one, right?
Yeah.
Brian Edward Hill. Yeah. So I remember my foil covers costing like $5.25 back in the day. Remember the foil covers with the holographic thing on the
Yeah.
side? Oh, gee.
The 90s, man.
Valiant. Valiant the thing on the Valiant was like doing foil covers earlier this year, I think. Maybe it was last year.
No one does those anymore. I'm kind of sad.
Yeah, so the Black Cat annual number one is $5. It's an annual. Fallen Angels Bagley variant was $5. Fallen Angels is $4.99.
Which was good, by the way.
It was good.
Yeah.
History of Marvel Universe $5. House of X $5. Second printing number 6. Looks like all the House of X, Powers of X books are. House of X number 1, fifth printing is $6.
No, a couple of them were $6.99. I remember that.
Ooh. Marvel Tales Doctor Strange number 1, $8.
What? Is that a foil cover?
I don't know. It might be. I'm guessing it's like extended.
It comes with a trading card. It has to.
But yeah, I mean, there still are like Punisher is still like $3.99, but looks like a lot of these X-Men books are like New Mutants, War Children number 1, second printing $4.99. Star Wars is still $3.99, but I mean, it definitely looks like there's a lot more books that are going for $4.99 or more now. And that's kind of the same tactic that they're doing at Disney World and Disneyland now, too.
I can't attest for anything else, but Marvel's probably going to ride this X-Men train as long as they can because people are actually buying it and excited about it. So they're going to...
And they're talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, the story, like, you guys got me hyped on the story. I'm waiting for the trades to come out, and I'll get the trade.
Oh, I recommend it. The Power of House of X and Powers of 10, it was a solid story. I can't promise you're going to understand what happened until the last page, but it's a solid story.
Oh, that's totally fine with me. I love a good mystery. I know it gets a lot of hate, but I really like Identity Crisis as a standalone tale, and with DC. It's a good like murder mystery. I like those stories. I like the Brubaker like criminal stuff. I love that stuff. But that's not comics, right?
But as for Twitter right now, I only see 3 of the same name: Mandalorian, Gargoyles, and X-Men. That's all people are talking about on my side of Twitter. I'm not sure about anyone else see anything else, but all I'm seeing is
Mandalorian's not really it. Even on release day, it wasn't trending.
Really,
I don't think Mandalorian's strong enough as a Star Wars title to keep people interested in Star Wars. Unless they switch it up for the second and third episodes and really pull people in. But
for the trends that I'm seeing, I guess like I'm getting like some All Elite Wrestling Dark Order. I don't know what that is. This is on the Bounding Twitter, so these are the people that we follow on Bounding. Riverdale, Survivor, Brooks and Dunn, Kelly Osbourne, Girl Crush. So that's what Twitter recommends for me right now for the Bounding Twitter account. But yesterday I did see Darkwing Duck trending yesterday.
Naturally.
It was like Darkwing Duck, Gargoyles, and Mandalorian is what I was seeing that were primarily trending.
Oh, you saw Mandalorian? Oh.
Yeah, I mean, my wife and I, before the stream here, we were watching Swiss Family Robinson, the original one. So I think I think there's a lot of people that are gonna watch a lot of those old classic Disney movies from like the 60s and 70s that you haven't seen in like forever.
Mr. Boogedy. Oh yeah, I'm watching that eventually.
Oh, I can't wait to watch Rescuers and Rescuers Down Under.
Who didn't watch Mr. Boogedy?
I remember that. Wow. That's taking me back right there. I'm actually, you know what, the cool thing about having this like little trial of Disney Plus for now is I'm gonna watch the 1979 movie The Black Hole because I love that movie. And I love the robots in that movie. So I highly recommend, if you guys haven't seen it, watch it because it's a classic, and I can promise you that the movie Event Horizon, that is also an underrated, very good sci-fi horror movie.
Oh, I like
That was
Horizon.
that was
I've
based
seen it.
off of the black hole loosely because the Event Horizon itself was based on the Cygnus in the black hole. So, just a little piece of trivia there, but you will enjoy the black hole if you haven't seen it. And the movie holds up. It has a hell of a cast. It still holds up to this day. But yeah, it's kind of a cult classic.
So let's get into the chat here a little bit. Matthew Matson is saying that the Gargoyle series has been edited. Have you seen anything on that, Phil? I saw something, but I didn't dive into it. I don't know what exactly that they edited.
The only thing that I know that's been edited from Gargoyles that you won't see in the original aired version is when Elisa Martha gets caught by accident by Broadway. I'm not sure what. I think it's the first season, but I haven't gotten that far yet. But they edited that out ages ago. Even it aired one time, I believe, and then after that, I think when it happened, this is back early '90s when people wrote notes, wrote letters to to producers and whatnot, and after that, it got edited out. It never aired again because people were upset that it was showed on TV. God forbid you teach kids about gun safety. But
okay, it was a gun scene then.
I remember that.
Lisa Martha, she's a detective, and Broadway is one of the
blue-haired detective.
Black, but it's blue because it's supposed to be black.
Blue.
Yeah. She left her gun on the table or something, and Broadway, one of the Gargoyles, one of the younger ones, he found it, and he knew what it was. He was playing around, and he shot her.
Is that the red one?
Yeah.
Or the
no, it's blue. He's blue.
He's
grayish,
blue? Okay.
Grayish blue.
Grayish blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
The big dumb one.
Yeah.
And he shot her. And from that point on, the character he started hating guns. He crumbled them up and
okay. I do remember that. I remember that one in original. Okay, I remember that.
So that was after that. That's the only thing that I know of that's been edited. I wouldn't be surprised if they took some other stuff out, but it was a dark show that it would not survive on TV today. So
dude, that taught me some gun safety though. Hell.
Mm-hmm. So if you know what other parts have been edited, please let me know. I'd love to go investigate for myself.
Maybe they gave Demona pants.
Yeah, Demona's. I mean, she's a gargoyle, just inhuman, but she's a good-looking little gargoyle, man. And then when she got her human form, like, oh, she is pretty. Look at her.
Speaking of things that were edited, did you see that they edited the Han shot or the Han shot first moment again?
The what?
The Han shot first moment from the original Star Wars, from A New Hope.
I didn't watch it. Not yet.
Yeah. So there's a clip. There's apparently Greedo says something now. After he shoots at Han, before he shoots at Han.
Yeah, it doesn't even.
He says McClunky.
Okay.
And I think one of CBR or something was trying to say that it was a word that Sebulba said from Phantom Menace, but Greedo, I would assume, speaks a very different language than Sebulba, given the fact that they're two different races. Maybe they speak the same language, but I don't know. He says McClunky right before Han shoots him. So it's just kind of weird why they would add in a line of dialogue for the Disney Plus version.
Solo is shooting him in cold blood, so maybe they're trying to give him a reason to why he shot him.
Nah.
Oh well, he's not though, because Greedo actually shoots first in this version still.
Oh, there you go. See?
Really?
So, oh yeah, that was changed a long time ago, Don.
There you go.
They got rid of the Han shoots first a long time ago.
Even though Harrison Ford wears the shirt saying "I shot first."
Oh yeah, that's like a meme. It's a meme now. That Han shot first, and no one's gonna remember that. Or they're not gonna realize that if you watch the stuff now, and you don't have people telling you that Han actually shot him first in the theatrical version.
That's actually pretty interesting. It's kind of like changing. It's like I'm a Christian, and I've always thought it was a good idea. Yeah, it's cool to have your Bible on your phone, but you want to have a printed version too, because that Bible on your phone can be changed, and if it's changed, you probably won't notice it's been changed. So it's probably if you're a real fan, go get your physical copy so you can compare it to what's actually being shown to you to make sure it hasn't been screwed with.
No, get the VHS copy.
Still
Get
got
the
a bunch
Betamax
of
out.
those. Still got a bunch of those from back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're all in like my parents' basement though. Collecting dust now. But that was one thing I wanted to get back to the Mandalorian. In that opening scene, they translated for us on the bottom everything that those aliens were saying until he like yelled at him when he walked in the door. Like, did you notice that they didn't translate what he was saying there? So he was obviously like
He was swearing at him,
cursing at him, or swearing at him, and they didn't. But then when he like told him like you knocked over my drink, which he knocked over his own drink, when he like got up when the door opened, and then they went back to translating that part. When I watched that again, I thought that was just like I watched that opening scene again, and I just thought it was like really, really weird. That like he was going after that bounty anyways, but he just waited for them to attack him first instead of just like going in and being like, yo, I'm taking this bounty and like blasting them out. I guess it made for a better like fight scene for the bartender to like it was more of like that Western vibe with the throwing the cup down the bar and smashing him with it.
It was like a saloon.
Yeah,
but that was what they were going for. They were going for that Western vibe. I think that was little on the nose. It was basically a Western for a little while there, even to the point where he clears out everybody and he walks up to the one guy that's being real quiet in the corner and he says like, "Oh, that's his bounty." That was obvious. So I could take. What he said, I could take it cold or I could take it warm. I was like, "Oh wow, that's pretty funny."
yeah. Script doctor like that a lot instead of alive or dead.
I like it too. I mean, I thought that was a cool flip on the dialogue.
I wasn't expecting the splitting in half thing with the body. I was like, wow, that got graphic really fast.
But they cut away from it.
They cut away from it.
PG.
Yeah, we saw that in the trailer. Like I was expecting that because that was one of the cool things from the trailer. But yeah, they definitely. I wish they had shown that. I mean, it's like what's the difference between that and seeing Vader like hack people up, or Anakin killing a bunch of younglings, or Darth Maul getting chopped in half?
They didn't actually show Anakin, slaughtering children.
Yeah, they did. They showed him. Yeah, when Obi-Wan and Yoda view the footage, they show Anakin.
And I can go back and look at it now, can't I?
Yeah.
When they view this, when Obi-Wan and Yoda are looking at the security footage in the Jedi Temple after they've changed the code to tell the Jedi to stay away from the Jedi Temple, Obi-Wan goes to the security footage and Yoda tells him only pain you will find there or whatever, and Anakin shows them killing the younglings.
Okay, I'm gonna assume that's the last 20 minutes or so.
And then you see Maul's body is split in half when he falls down.
Yeah, you do. You even see the little spray of blood too. Yeah, I remember that.
So Matthew Matson is saying that I'm wrong about the Anakin killing the younglings.
All right, we're all prequel watching tonight. There we go.
Yeah.
Refreshing our memories.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does it. He kills at least one. They show him like,
because all I remember is he's with the Padawans, and then you see the lightsaber come out, and then it goes black. But that's as far as I remember.
We're talking about killing younglings, and someone's calling a cat. That sounds. Don't kill the cat, please. What's next?
There's the one scene where he like pulls his lightsaber out, and then it cuts to, well, at least this scene is cutting to Obi-Wan walking through the younglings being killed, chopped up. And then it's not going to show me the footage. Yeah, dude, he's literally killing the. Oh no, that's him killing the. Then it cuts to him killing the. This is just a cut up clip. That's not what I wanted. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. I'm not finding anything right now to show that.
Yeah. Oh, did you see the barbecued? John, did you finally see the barbecued?
Yes, I did
okay.
see that. It was after Werner Herzog. Yes, I did see that. They definitely changed where that was from the leaked footage in Star Wars Celebration, because that was before he went to visit Werner Herzog, because it cut off during the conversation with Werner Herzog in the Star Wars Celebration cut. So they definitely edited that to put that after. I actually think that the Star Wars Celebration cut was done better, because you actually get to see more of this, like the vibe of the city while he's like marching there, and it's not just so like barren and dull and like kind of like I don't know, it's just very bland, I guess, when he's walking there. Whereas like you had that like you had the kind of stuff happening when he was walking there. Instead, it was just kind of like the whole like town looked very run down almost, or like empty, if that makes sense. Whereas like before, it looked like it was at least a little bit bustling, and you don't get that until afterwards. So do we want to move on to our next subject?
Yeah, go for it, man.
All right. So this was Phil wants to talk about the Falcon's new costume. You got that? You want to bring that up, Phil? Or
it was pretty good.
I haven't seen it either. So
I haven't. I saw it. Can
you do a screen share?
Exactly.
You got it up?
All right. No, I don't have it up.
Okay. I haven't.
But it was revealed during their, I guess it's documentary they have on Disney Plus. The build, I think it's called "Building of a Universe."
Okay. So
that apparently they've spilled a few and explained a couple things. I haven't watched it personally myself because I've only had it since yesterday. It's called expanding the universe.
Oh, expanding the universe. Yeah.
It's only 12 minutes, but it gives us some previews into what's to come, which I thought was pretty cool. But I wish they'd give us some more. But again, they just started filming Falcon and the Winter Soldier like a couple weeks ago, so I wouldn't expect much.
Is it changed from the poster that was released at?
Yes.
I think you saw it, Don. You saw the poster at San Diego Comic-Con. Was that when they released it, or was that D23?
D23, yeah.
Yeah, so they've updated his suit from the D23 poster. So we're thinking he's wearing at least two different suits.
Or he does a Daredevil thing.
A lot
Daredevil
more
season 1.
Comic books, actually.
From like
it's got
from
that. It
the
even has
original Falcon design, or him.
Oh yeah. Okay.
This looks like a lot more comic book, especially the beak thing in the middle. Yeah.
I found the security footage. He does kill one of the younglings on the security footage, and then another one he like just deflects his lightsaber. You see him kill at least two people on the two younglings on the security footage. In this clip here, he kills two. So that is confirmed. You can argue that maybe those aren't younglings and they might be Padawans potentially, but he definitely kills two of them, and then one person actually like parries his blow, and then Obi-Wan shuts it off, or it switches to him bowing to Palpatine.
Can you see my screen?
No. Oh, here I have it. I got it. I have to add it. There we go.
There it is.
All right. Wow, that actually looks really cool. Where's the wings though? still there.
I'm sure.
He's in the
I'm sure
back.
they fold up on the back. So you see his backpack there, so it probably folds up. But it's way more comic, accurate than it used to be. So.
Wait a second.
I like that. That looks cool. His head shaved though.
It looks
Is his
cool.
head shaved? Does he have hair?
That looks cool, but
He has
it looks almost
a lot.
it looks almost like a uniform. It looks almost like a uniform somebody would make in Star Trek Online or City of Heroes or something like that.
I like how
it does look
it's
kind
a
of
Falcon
Starfleet,
shape
doesn't it?
in the middle.
Because it has the collar there and the solid color here.
Yeah.
It does look very, very Starfleet. Yeah.
Is that Black Lightning?
Damn it! Falcon's Starfleet. We have it here first. Spoiler.
I like how it looks like a falcon though here with the white stripe and the bird there. That looks cool.
Yeah.
And it's red obviously for his pet.
It's
He's always
it's
had
still
red, but it's never been like this kind of bright red. So I wonder if it's going to keep this hue, or are they going to darken it up like they did in the movies?
It still looks hella cool. I think it looks cool.
Yeah, I like it a lot too.
It looks futuristic and stuff. I like it.
All right.
Yeah,
I got next year's Halloween costume.
Red Wing, right? He's got the red wings on his chest. Oh, that's pretty cool. Because that's his like pet, right? That he like deploys to go after people.
It's a little drone. It's a little drone.
Yeah, the drone.
In the comic book, it's actually a bird. Funny enough, back when Marvel was making everybody a mutant, I guess late 80s to early 90s, they were saying that he was mutant and he had the ability to manipulate birds for a while. Then they just kind of like stopped talking about that.
Yeah, that was probably a good idea to not talk about that anymore. That it is a pretty cool power. Like I've seen it. They have a guy on My Hero Academia. His power is to communicate with animals, and he deploys it pretty well. There's like this one scene he like calls on like I hate like pigeons. They're like rats with wings for the most part, but he calls on all these pigeons to like come down on all these other people who are attacking them, and it's a like excellent like distraction. They were able to
that
pull their guy out.
The beige colored guy with the funny face. Yeah, I remember you talking. I know you're talking about. I watched the show.
Yeah. Season 3 where they're getting their provisional license. He calls on all the pigeons. That was a pretty cool scene. But yeah, no, that's a like a dope costume. I wonder what color do you think the wings are? Do you think they're red?
I think they're going to be the same silver. I don't think they're red. Oh, well, no. His comic book wings are red, but they're also kind of translucent, aren't they? So I don't know. But I think they're still going to stay with the futuristic kind of more likely colors and probably be the silver with maybe you have a red trim, but they'll be mostly metallic in my opinion.
No, I like it. It looks good. I think it also fuels what Mackie has said about he's not becoming Captain America. He's going to still be Falcon, but
be his own character.
Yeah, I like that too.
So does that mean Buck's going to be Captain America?
I don't think they're going to have Captain America anymore.
They're going to U.S. soldiers. From the spoilers that I've been hearing is that they want to find a replacement for Captain America, and one of the not U.S. soldier, U.S. agent, and the guy that you got playing U.S. agent is trying to be Captain America, but he's going to fall to Baron Zemo's schemes or whatever, and Bucky and Falcon have to they had befriended him. Kind of, and they were at odds at first, and then they befriend him, and then they realize he's being manipulated and going rogue or whatever. Because I guess Zemo is somehow the rumor sounds ridiculous. It says that Zemo's controlling them with some kind of thing that he put in his head or something.
Oh, Mad Hatter.
Yeah, it was weird. Because I think they were talking about what was the storyline they were talking about? It's actually here it is, October 28th. Yeah, it says so Emily Van Camp's Sharon Carter's tries to lobby the government to have Sam Wilson replace Walker as Captain America after Wyatt Russell's John Walker goes rogue. And then, that's definitely a different suit from the. But then, so yeah, it says Daniel Bruhl's Baron Zemo implants a chip in Walker's head. After the chip is implanted, Walker goes rogue. Zemo's plans are reportedly to implant chips into the entire world's population. In order to accomplish this, he enlists the Rachel Layton version of Diamondback, played by Bonnie Wright. And then Thunderbolt Ross has to recruit Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes to defeat Zemo.
Didn't they already have a Diamondback in one of the Netflix series?
Well,
Yeah.
Luke
Blade.
Cage's brother was Diamondback.
No, that's Cottonmouth. Blade's brother was not Blade. Look at you. You got me saying Luke's brother was Diamondback.
Luke's brother was Diamondback.
Yeah, I hated that. That was dumb. They ruined that TV show when they let Cottonmouth die.
I actually thought that could have been the best Marvel Netflix show if he had not died. But I also think that's why they brought him in on his Blade, right? They knew what they knew what they had there.
Yeah,
that was before he got the Academy Award, though, right?
It was before he got
Green
for Green Book. Yeah, but dude, he was still Mahershala.
I've been watching him since 4400. I think I've said it before. I'm not sure if any of you guys watched that. It was a great show. But he was on that. He was great on that as well.
That's where the people come back to life after they're
that was underrated. It was very underrated. It was a good show.
What happened was it was being made by Universal and USA, and NBC, which is also a Universal company, was making Heroes the following after I guess season 4, they made Heroes, and the two concepts were too close. So I think one of them had to go, and they weren't gonna not put out Heroes. So 4400 got the axe, which I didn't like how Heroes. I don't understand why people give it. Heroes was fine for what it was, but I was never a huge fan of it. I thought the first season was passable. The second season, third, and last. I think there was only 3 or 4. I don't remember how many seasons there were. I just didn't like it.
The writer's strike killed.
Strike killed the second season.
Yeah, I like Zachary Quinto's. What was it, Siler? Was that his name?
Siler, yeah.
Yeah, I thought his story was really interesting. And then they tried to redeem him, I think, and I was like, come on. Down the road. Didn't they try and redeem him down the road?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was stupid. But no, the first season was pretty solid. But I mean, it wasn't amazing. Obviously, I think there's better stories in those X-Men comic books.
I couldn't stand Hero. The guy, the actual
the Japanese
Hiro
guy.
Nakamura.
Hiro Nakamura.
I couldn't stand that character whatsoever.
I liked his sidekick better, but
he was funny. Yeah,
it all fell apart when his sidekick started getting powers.
Yeah, that red lightning thing. I remember.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, I don't want to. It's bad.
Kristen Bell's character was solid in that. I think that was the first time I saw her on anything.
Yeah, that's the first time I saw her too.
And she was Siler's love interest for a little bit with the lightning powers.
Yeah, he killed her at the end.
Yeah,
I don't understand why, but yeah, he killed her
on the beach. Yeah. Well, he killed everyone until. I mean, that was his thing. I was like, I'm gonna take powers. I think the biggest issue they had with Heroes is that what's his name was his empath powers were way too OP.
Oh yeah, he was without having to cut anybody's head open. So.
Yeah, he was way too OP.
But it was with consequences.
What was it? I don't remember.
I don't think there was.
When he took it, he couldn't control it. So remember when he took that radiation guy's powers and he was going to go nuclear,
right?
And his brother had to fly him off to rescue the city,
and he somehow survived that, which just doesn't make any sense.
Well,
to me
that's the writer's strike happened, so it's
Yeah, I mean, he eventually was able to control a lot of that stuff, though, wasn't he?
They showed him they showed something in the future, and they never actually showed us him using. This is what happened. They went to the future, and they actually showed him and Siler squaring off, and then they cut to another scene, and we never saw what happened. It was the most disappointing thing I've ever seen in my life. I was like, "Oh, we're gonna see something," and then nothing. I was like, no, they didn't do that. So that was upsetting. I was like,
Quality shows of 2004, or was that 2004?
That 2004? Wow.
Yeah, I think that was over a decade ago, almost 2 decades now, closing in.
Whoa.
All right, so do we want to get into these James Bond rumors, or do we want to do? You had a really good idea, Phil, about where is it here?
Where is that?
You had a really good. Oh, jeez, come on. You had a really good idea about giving our predictions about what Disney exclusive series movies could come to the platform.
Movies and series. I'll go first. I mean, if things are going the way they are now, I think we're gonna get another X-Men and hopefully another Gargoyle series. So that, you guys know that from me anyway. But the X-Men series, the actual creators of the anime series, they've already been in talks with Disney. Whether they leak that just to get us excited about the streaming 20-year-old episodes or not, that might be the case. But they've
worked.
They did. They've already, the people have already talked about on Twitter that they've had meetings with Disney to not do a reboot, but a sequel series to the first season. I mean, where the last season ended off, which I hope they don't, because it ended pretty horribly. Yeah,
I'm not sure if they'll do sequels. I know we're seeing that with the Clone Wars getting 7th season. I wouldn't be surprised if we see like all new series with these same people potentially.
Mm-hmm.
I think I talked about that a little bit with like Gargoyles, where we might see a new Gargoyles clan, or instead of like continuing with Goliath. And
I'll take that. I'll take that.
I think that
Got to
be
keep
really
the voice actors though.
They gotta. Oh my gosh, listening to.
Well, if you have a new clan, you're gonna have new characters. So they're gonna. I mean, I don't know. Do you want to hear the same voice actors?
I want to hear Xanatos.
I want Keith David back. I want Will. Yeah, hell yeah. Oh yeah, I want them all back. Xanatos. Just one line in the first episode, which I can't believe they actually let him say even back in the 90s on the Disney Network. Pay a man enough, he'll walk barefoot into hell. It's like, wow, that was kind of deep for a kid show. And they said,
so it came on. Batman the Animated Series was before it, and then you saw like that got like huge success.
Yeah, that was pretty dark.
So I definitely think they were inspired by that. I mean, we had a lot of those, like even X-Men animated series. They talked about like real issues and like just life stories in a lot of those really good shows, and I think that's why they have the staying power that we're seeing. That's why people are raving about Gargoyles right now. It's why people are still watching Batman the Animated Series and X-Men. I wouldn't be surprised if when HBO Max comes, people are watching Batman the Animated Series. Although I do think Batman the Animated Series is much more accessible than Gargoyles and X-Men
of
are.
Of course.
When it comes
Batman,
to
it's more
DVDs
universal
and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, I was watching the episode out, and what did Wolverine call Sabretooth? Egg-sucking gutter trash? I was like, wow, that was dirty.
Yeah, so go ahead, Don.
Yeah, so, okay. Do you think the X-Men is better in the film, as a film, or do you think the X-Men works better in a series? Or would they work better as a live-action series?
Well, we saw them try the live-action series, and they, I'm not sure it wasn't a failure.
You're talking The Gifted.
Yeah, it wasn't a.
No, I mean like core X-Men members.
I don't think they'll ever do it. I think that would be dope, but I don't think they'll ever do it. I don't know.
I think they know it'll be dope.
I think
it
makes
Disney
fans
Plus,
too
you're going to
happy.
see an X-Men series. I think that's going to come. That's got to happen. There's going to be an X-Men TV series.
I think it's going to be animated. I don't think they're going to do live action. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to save live action for the. Okay, I take that back. Because there is a Disney Plus now, I think there will be of course it's going to be a live action movie. I think what they're doing with that, how you see the Avengers characters, they'll be doing with the X-Men characters. You will see something along those lines eventually.
I mean,
Yeah, that's what
Disney
I
money.
think.
They're just going to throw money
Throw it out
and
there.
then be like,
I mean,
Okay,
throwing
make
money away there. What are
X-Men.
you doing?
The way that X-Men is structured, you would think that it would work a lot better as a series, just the way
Of course.
it's structured.
Yeah.
Because that way you can dedicate more time to the characters that need it. But the problem is, they've got so much riding on the fact that they've acquired the rights to this, and they're going to want to cram it into a film, and all we can do is hope that they don't screw it up. But I would much rather they did it as a series, and then when there's like a big like event, that's when you go to your X-Men movie. You just take the show cast and boom, there you go. Repurpose them for the movie.
I like that idea a lot. I think that's one of the things I've always preached with Justice League Unlimited and X-Men did animated series that similar things. You have such like these huge casts, and when you have a movie, there's only like a limited amount of time that you can dedicate to all of these like different characters. But with a series, you can go off and be like, hey, we're going to sideline what's going on with Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean, and all the main X-Men team, and we're going to go see what's going on with like the B team with like X-Force or whatever, and they're off on a side mission or something, and you can like have focus on them, or maybe it's just like a Gambit and Rogue one-off episode where they're doing their own thing. That's one of the things I really liked about Justice League Unlimited and Justice League is you got like those are my favorite episode is the Huntress and Question and Arrow and Black Canary double date. I love that episode, and it's not about like there's like no Batman, no Superman, no Wonder Woman. Like it's the side characters, and it's a fantastic episode. And I think that's perfect for a series.
You could do stuff like that, in that way you can also like establish the size and scope of the team the way that it's supposed to be, because then it gives you that feel like wow, there's a big team of people here, and you get that way you get the time per episode to actually focus around some of the different team members, and you can go on down the line so everybody gets a little taste of just who's on the team, like who everybody that's on the team, and it's good like that. And that's why you can just do a big event movie when there's like some big key plot that they need to tell the story on the big screen as opposed to cover it in episodes.
Yeah, I agree. Especially now, if you look at what the comic books are doing now, which I thought was kind of like astounding, it's strange because if you're reading the X-Men right now, the books are actually moving in chronological order. Like all the books that have come out after X-Force are recognizing what happened in X-Force, and I thought that I haven't seen that in forever. Like they're telling you, like they have a little box telling you what happened when. I was like, whoa, I haven't seen this since like 1999.
We'll have to give some props to Brian Edward Hill after this because he's
yeah.
Dude, that guy's solid, man. I loved his Aphrodite 5 little series he did.
Good.
Everything I've read by him is really good.
I like the way comic books were before, where it would do that. It would tell you,
read Avengers 356.
Referenced in New Mutants 154 or whatever, and you could go back and check out that New Mutants issue for additional backstory, and it was nice because it informs the reader, and you don't have that now with a lot of comics. They just kind of jump around.
Yeah, that's not what's happening in X-Men right now. Spoiler, it's been out for 2 weeks now. Xavier got shot. He's going to come back, so don't get upset about it, guys. But Xavier got shot in X-Force #1, and Fallen Angels and X-Men number 2 have both recognized that it happened. And they're what, a week or 2 weeks apart. It's like, wow, this is really planned out. So,
but the series are the series still distinct? Like, you don't need to feel like you have to read.
No, at this point, you have to read everything. I did it on purpose. Yeah. Okay. In the back of the books, it has a schedule of what to read in what order right now. So if you're into it, you're going to, this is not
definitely I'm definitely waiting for trade then. There's no way. Especially when the comics are selling for what, like $5-6. You can get trades for that.
That's true. You can get almost a whole run for like $12-13, maybe 20 at most.
Yeah.
So
one of the I was looking at the chat here and I saw a comment that jumped out at me. But you can make more cash via movie on merch and crap. That's how they think. I'm not sure that that's how they think anymore. I mean, they have 10. Like, I was seeing reports, 10 million subscribers day one on Disney Plus. When you're getting like 10 million people are subscribing to your streaming service. I think you're going to be selling merch. I would not be surprised if Disney starts trying to sell merch through the streaming service. And obviously, they're going to have data and information on what shows are being watched. And they're going to create merch based off of those shows, too. So I think the Disney Plus is just a huge marketing tool for them on multiple fronts.
Just kind of like adding to that, I think Bill Burr, he went on Kimmel recently, and Kimmel asked about his role in The Mandalorian. And one of the weird things that he had to do, along with like the weird like background rotoscoping thing that they do now,
and shaving his head.
Yeah, he was put into a room with like thousands of cameras up and down all around him, getting a 360 shot of him. And he's like, they are making a toy out of me. So we're going to eventually see a Bill Burr toy of whatever character he's playing in The Mandalorian. So they're definitely doing toys.
Yeah, his character does look
got that little like mini gun that like come off the side or whatever. That looked really freaking cool.
That'll be an actual figure that'll sell probably.
But yeah,
welcome Script Doctor to the stream.
Oh yeah, welcome Script Doctor. So yeah, it was just like, yeah, movies sell merch and stuff like that, but I think a lot of folks are seeing these things streaming now and not so much doing the movies, and I think that's how they're going to start doing their merch now.
Well, I'm pretty sure what you're going to start seeing, if Disney's interested in doing advertising that way using their app, you're going to start seeing little, advertising strips next to the, next to your icon before you press it, or you're not going to see full-on commercials, but you'll start seeing some advertising going there. But I think a lot of what happens is the subscription-based stuff, after a while, people are used to just having it, and they may not be watching it, but because it's a recurring cost, most of the time, I think Disney's going to be making millions off of people that just forgot they had it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think that happens a lot. Like this is one of the things that I can't stand. So a lot of the British newspapers will I think it's like the Sunday Times. They hide a lot of their stuff behind a paywall, especially for Americans. I think it's specifically for Americans, or at least people who don't live in the UK. In order to get it, you have to do some subscription, and they automatically say there'll be a recurring fee or whatever. And I'm just like, no, I just want to read this one article that has this one interview so I can see what that person actually said.
Disney's always been a little weird. Even I was going back to if you look at their I guess their online presence and what they do online, and even down to Marvel, Marvel's YouTube channel is such a waste of broadband space. It's ridiculous what they do over there. The cooking shows and the nonsensical topics. It's you have millions of followers, and you guys don't talk about your comic books at all, really. Why?
It's lifestyle brand.
Yeah, it's stupid. Why isn't there? Why aren't you interviewing Jonathan Hickman? What the hell's going on here? Why don't we have a live Q&A? Why are we still doing Q&As through CBR? It's stupid. So I'm hoping what I'm hoping for, again, going back to what Disney can do on their platform, is they can start doing maybe even I would say moving away from YouTube and putting their own content in terms of interviews and Q&As on their live stream, and you can go and watch that on a regular basis, especially through the little Marvel section they have, if they choose to use it properly. I mean,
DC has that on DC Universe.
Here you go.
It's like the DC Daily Show, and I don't think anyone really watches it.
Oh, that's
DC?
one with Hector, isn't it?
It's like hyper. I find it uninteresting, but it's just not my taste. The hosts are way too happy.
I don't. You can't trust people that are too happy. They're too happy,
right?
I mean, you got a good check today, didn't you? Yeah. So you can't trust the smiling ones, man. Like John Campia. Like I still like John, but you can't like everything, man. You can't tell me you're, as a critic, that you're in love with everything, and everything can't have a good spin to it. It's just not possible. It's like,
yeah.
So
they put their I think they put their DC Daily on YouTube as well. Maybe not. I know like, so DC's doing this Gen 5 or whatever, and apparently that was like leaked on like one of their DC Daily shows where they had what's his name, Didio, on, and it was like in his office or whatever, and you like saw it. I'm not seeing it on their YouTube channel right now, though. Maybe they canceled that show. But it's like that Star Wars show. The Star Wars show has it too. Like they have the Star Wars show or whatever.
Okay, was it go through YouTube though?
Yeah, I think the Star Wars show is on YouTube.
Here's my thing. Disney Plus, I'm watching it, but I'm not hooked yet. As soon as I get through binging X-Men and Gargoyles, they're gonna have to find something to keep me on, because I'll watch Mandalorian, but I can save $6. It's not that big of a deal to me. So they need to keep finding something to keep me on. And I'm hoping
that's going to be the MCU stuff.
Yeah,
is what I think. That's what their bread and butter is still.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be, because like right now it's just like I could take or leave it. I mean, I would almost rather watch Amazon Prime Video. I've got more stuff there.
So as a precursor to some of the discussion that I'm going to be recording later, the Netflix stuff, is that open game for the Disney Plus platform?
What do you mean?
In terms of the Disney / Marvel stuff, so Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, the horrible
Iron is staying on Netflix. Everything I've read, that is all staying on Netflix. Netflix retains the rights to that
for 2 years, right?
No, they retain the rights to that in perpetuity to those shows. The characters
can be used for 2 years. Yeah,
can be used for 2 years.
The characters as
I think is almost up, right?
It's characters as is with the current actors. They can use the characters elsewhere, but they can't use them in the likeness that we would have seen them in through the Netflix show. But yeah, some of them like Luke Cage and Iron Fist are almost 2 years out now. So
yeah.
Well, is it 2 years from debut or 2 years from last used?
I think it's probably 2 years. I have no idea. I just know the only thing I've actually seen of this is from the Daredevil actress, the lawyer chick, who like kind of like confirmed it.
Oh, Marcy?
Yeah, Marcy. That's where I feel like that's like the most solid source on that.
Well, there was Brett Mahoney too.
Okay. Was that at New York Comic Con?
Detective? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so the actors are like coming out and saying that stuff. So apparently they didn't have gag orders or whatever to talk about that. But yeah, no, I mean those shows are staying on Netflix unless Netflix decides to license them to Disney for Disney Plus, which is possible.
If Disney decides to take those characters back with the current actors, they'll probably buy them. They'll try to attempt to buy them from Netflix more than likely.
Yeah, that's what I think. But I think that Feige and company might just be like, "Yo, clean slate. That's not canon, but we like you, Charlie Cox. Don't play Daredevil again or whatever."
But here's the thing I don't understand about that. See, they're gonna pick and choose their continuity. But what are they doing with the Inhumans exactly? I mean, I saw
it's
it
on Disney Plus.
It's there. It's under the Marvel tab. So is it a thing now?
There's a rumor. There's a rumor that I don't think it's MCU canon. I think it's just, hey, it's a show. See if people will watch it. Potentially, like that didn't watch it when it aired live or on Hulu or whatever.
I have no interest in watching that ever again.
I haven't watched it. I mean, I don't plan on ever watching it. So
hey, you haven't watched it. You might like it. I didn't, but you might like it. I don't know, man.
Probably not.
Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah, I have zero interest in watching that. But obviously they're going to have to reintroduce the Inhumans.
Exactly.
Miss Marvel, there's rumors that Black Bolt is going to be in that film and that Maximus the Mad is going to be the villain. Obviously he was the villain in the Inhumans show.
So is Miss Marvel going to be a series or a Disney Plus movie?
It's a Disney Plus series.
Do you guys think they're going to have Disney Plus exclusive movies on there?
Yeah, they already do Lady and the Tramp.
No, I mean MCU wise, not that goofy stuff. I know that.
Oh, potentially. I don't see why they wouldn't. They're already making movies for it, so why wouldn't they make MCU movies?
Well, Iron Fist was originally supposed to be a Netflix movie. You know that, right?
Defenders, you mean, right?
No, Iron Fist. That was going to be
it's supposed to be a movie.
Yeah, and they changed it to a series.
Huh.
I hope saw what Mark. Scott Buck did with Inhumans.
Oh, Sonic the Hedgehog has arrived in the chat. Thank you, Sonic the Hedgehog, for joining us. You looked absolutely fantastic in your new trailer.
Kudos to your plastic surgeon.
Yeah, we really liked that. I mean, the plastics. Whoever your surgeon was, man, you need to let everyone know because they did a great job.
Body transplant.
Oh yeah.
Sega.
So whoever worked on the Sonic redesign needs to work on the CGI Medusa hair.
Oh no! Don't bring it up. They
Tyson
cut that off.
Tyson Hess did the Sonic redesign.
I can't believe they actually did that, though. I mean, to save money, they shaved her head. That poor actress.
So bad.
They shaved her head. I was like, they're saving.
Did they shave the actress head, or did they put like a skull cap on it?
They shaved her head. Like that actress was bald for several months after that. They shaved her head.
Well, Wasp just shaved her head too.
Well, she's got some hair left.
Well,
she's not going Sinead O'Connor,
back, I guess. Already. I mean, she shaved her head pretty. I mean, I guess she's not like completely bald, but Evangeline Lilly definitely shaved her hair.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but that's her hair's got nothing to do with the character. I mean, she can be like the first time we saw she had like that weird bob that I didn't really like at all.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah. So
horrible.
But yeah, they shaved that woman's head to save money. That was blatant. Like if you wanted to save money, don't shoot in Hawaii. That was just stupid. Just go to Vancouver like everybody else.
Yeah, I knew Karen Gillan shaved her head. That's how she got the part, Mark, because she actually wasn't afraid to shave her head, and they actually had another actress in mind, and they wouldn't shave their head, and Karen would, and that's how she got the part.
She wouldn't shave her. Someone wouldn't shave their head to be in a franchise the size of the MCU. It grows back. It's okay.
I know, man. I'd be like,
it doesn't always grow back. Doesn't always.
Shave my head in a heartbeat for that. Man, I don't care if I'm bald forever. I'll be sitting on fat stacks after that movie.
It's not just the one-time pay. I mean, if you're a part of that franchise, it's a recurring role. You're going to be used over and over. I mean,
right, for real.
So just shave your head. It's okay.
Yeah, no doubt. But all right. So what do you want to hit next here, John?
Dude, let's you take the lead here and let's talk about some CM Punk.
All right, so last night, man, it was funny. I after we got done streaming, I couldn't really sleep, so I came back out here and sat down at the computer. I'm just surfing around online, and about 12:15, Twitter starts blowing up, and I see CM Punk trending, and I'm like, okay, and I check it out, and boom, there's a clip. Apparently, on WWE Backstage last night, at the end, they had a big reveal. They played entrance music, whole 9 yards. Dude walks into the studio, onto the set, and he looks square into the camera and says, just when you thought you knew the answers, I changed the culture. I'll see you here next week. So it's confirmed. CM Punk is back. He is under a Fox contract, which is quite interesting. So he is not, for those of you that are hoping for an in-ring return, you're going to have to kind of wait a while. For all appearances and from what I've gathered as far as researching it, it is strictly a Fox contract because obviously WWE Backstage, it's on FS1, it's a Fox show. So, he will be under a Fox deal. And from the interviews that I've heard ahead of time, before he's even signed with Fox, the guy's just coming out doing Girl on the Third Floor. He really seems to enjoy acting. And, if he takes anything, it's going to be on a part-time deal because I really feel like he wants to continue acting. And why not? A lot of those ex-WWE stars are making bank in Hollywood.
I mean, The Rock is the biggest star ever.
Yeah, look at The Rock.
Not ever, maybe.
Look at Batista.
John Cena's going to be in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, the next one you're going to see break out, if you saw Hobbs and Shaw, probably Roman Reigns eventually will branch out, and he's going to be a big action star. So CM Punk's going to get in on that. Yeah, Batista. I mean, we already knew though. Batista's huge, but yeah, CM Punk's going to get in on that. Because he got a lot of good critical acclaim for Girl on the Third Floor. It was well acted from what all the reviews have said, and from what I've seen, it looks like he really nailed the role. So I think he's going to go for more acting roles. But here's the flip side of it. Some interesting drama today came out where a couple of the current wrestlers, Seth Rollins, basically called CM Punk out. He said, simply tweeted out, "Fight me" at CM Punk. And it's going to be interesting. So apparently they're teasing that Seth Rollins will be on WWE Backstage next week to have a face-to-face with CM Punk. So that's going to be interesting. But it was cool to see him back. The guy's been out of any sort of wrestling-related spotlight for 6 years. The fans have been clamoring for him. You go to events, there's constant CM Punk chants, for that long. So it speaks to the staying power that the guy had, because all the other side projects that he's done, MMA didn't work out for him. Acting seems to be working out for him. I don't know how good he was as a Marvel writer. You guys could probably speak to that better than me. I don't know if he read the stuff that he did or not.
I only wrote like one Shang-Chi story, from what I understand.
Mm-hmm. Was it any good?
I have not. I didn't read it, so I have no idea.
Okay, well, it looks like really and truly he's just basically come full circle, and he's back to where he had his most success. And I wouldn't rule out him signing an actual WWE contract in the future, because with the way that wrestling is right now in general, a lot of people are getting back into watching it between WWE or AEW or even like NWA and Impact and stuff like that. You've got 4 promotions that are actually putting on pretty good entertainment at the moment. So a lot of people are taking it in again. So you're going to see, I think, probably sooner than later, him actually sign a part-time WWE deal, and it'll be something similar to the way they do with Brock Lesnar. Like, he'll show up a couple Raws a month, couple SmackDowns a month, whatever, and he'll be in, like, if they're trying to do like a pretty big storyline, but it'll be a part-time deal, and he'll bank out because I mean, good God, they'll give him a huge contract. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, he's going to definitely get eyes on that studio analyst show, because that WWE backstage, it works like any of the other sports shows. Like, it's an actual legit. They break down the stuff from the week. They break down different matches, and he's the same as having like a football recap show where there's analysts in studio. So, he's going to be good on there no matter what.
That show who's it backed by? It's not a WWE show, is it?
It's
No,
Fox.
it's on FS1. So it's
Fox Sports show.
It's definitely a Fox show. The same way that SmackDown mainly now is a Fox show. I mean, it's WWE owned, but it's a Fox show.
Okay.
They're running it. So, basically SmackDown and, WWE backstage are Fox. So yeah, he's employed by Fox currently, but the WWE definitely, while they're in hot competition, they are going to want him back under a WWE contract. That's a given. I mean, his name power is just too much for them to resist, I think. And the fact that, like I said, you don't hear the chance for other wrestlers that leave the business for that long, and still, like, every year people across every arena is chanting for him. I mean, it's pretty good, because when he was active before he was out of WWE, he was a household name, and God, he had the championship at one point for 434 days. So, I mean, he's one of the GOATs.
I wouldn't be surprised if, given the fact that he wrote that Shang-Chi story, that he might maybe get a cameo role in the upcoming film. That could be something.
I wouldn't be surprised either about that.
I'd be surprised. The way Marvel goes, where if you want to be in Black Panther, you're going to be that one white guy, or you got to be black, or they're probably going to do Shang-Chi. Everyone's going to be Asian, like in Crazy Rich Asians. I mean, and just how they do their writers. If you're going to be, if the character is homosexual, the writer's got to be homosexual. The character is black, the writer's got to be black. I don't expect to see more than a handful of white folk in that movie. I think that's the route they're going. And
They'll put Iron Fist.
Well, I think in general.
Yeah, they did that.
I think in general, though, with the way that the guy is a huge fan of comics, and the fact that he's a big time supporter of the industry, and he's been he's been a writer. Even if he's had one comics writing credit, he's still a writer. And at some point I would expect that he gets involved in, if he puts enough on an acting resume, that I wouldn't be surprised if he winds up in a DC or Marvel property, at least even with the cameo.
Do we know where the Shang-Chi movie is being filmed at all?
I'm not sure, but I mean, we've seen the 10 Rings terrorist organization.
I don't know.
Iron Man.
Oh, so Asia.
Would Shang-Chi be in Shanghai?
No. Set it in Tibet. Let's piss off the Chinese.
Oh man, yeah, that'd be great.
But I have no idea where that. I think they're probably going to change his. I think they're going to change. It seems like they're changing who the Mandarin is, and the Mandarin's going to be Shang-Chi's dad instead of Fu Manchu, I think was originally
Fu
in the
Manchu.
Marvel Comics. That's what the scuttlebutt I've seen.
Is he gonna have his rings? Is the question, because that's a whole different subject. Because his rings that's alien technology, right?
I'm not sure. In the comics, you probably know that more than I do.
I think they were alien technology. I think he
Were they
adapted
alien tech or just like
I don't think they were magic. I think they were alien
Magic.
tech.
because I thought that he hailed from the same like mystic art stuff as like Doctor Doom and stuff like that.
I know that it's
Or at
like
least pulled
definitely
from the same.
in the MC. Did you guys watch the Mandarin clip that they released with
The short?
Oh, the short, yeah.
the short? Yeah, where
Yeah.
they like confirm that like it's that wasn't the real Mandarin.
Right.
So
No, Mark.
It
Mark,
says here, discovered by the Mandarin in China's Valley of the Spirits, the 10 rings of power are actually the product of the dragon-like race Axon Kar or Makulans, from the planet Makulu.
From dragons?
Mark has the best comment in the chat though right now.
Yeah, he does.
Shang-Chi is filming in Hong Kong.
Free special. Oh wow, it's filming right now. Everything's blowing up.
That's great. Oh man, Mark, you were the universal champion of chat.
That's
Holy cow!
Free special effects, pyrotechnics.
Hey, John,
lots of extras.
Can we touch on some video game stuff really quick?
Sure.
Okay, so I've had a couple people like coming out talking on Twitter about I did a story the other day, yesterday about Rainbow Six Siege. Shifting Tides is now live on the test servers, and this new patch that is going to add to the game. If you guys have not played Rainbow Six Siege, it's a big it's an attack and defend FPS. It's really good. You have to have like tactics and teamwork to play it. It is challenging. It's more of a traditional shooter. It's not like playing a crappy battle royale. I mean, you actually have to play. You got to put on your big boy pants to play Siege. The thing with this update that I like is they're bringing a sniper in, and a lot of people debate over, who has been the best sniper character. There's technically only one sniper character on the attacker side, and that's always been Glaz, who came at launch, obviously. But the new sniper, Callie, she's actually, it looks like she's going to be the most powerful operator in the game, because her rifle is going to be 5 times zoom or 12x zoom, and the original sniper guy is Glaz, is only 3 times zoom. So, I mean, she's going to be a big change. She does have a counterbalance, because when she fires her weapon, there's like a white tracer that'll go off, and it kind of just like hangs in the air and sort of shows her position. But I mean, she does have like kind of an OP gadget on her rifle, because she can also, like, the underbarrel shoots a breaching round. So she can breach and she can snipe. So it's going to be quite interesting having her in the game, because I imagine if you're a good sniper, you're going to pretty much like wreck shop with this chick. And the defender too. Again, I've seen this even in esports play on Rainbow Six Siege. Like, a lot of people were picking this guy named Jaeger because he has a grenade net. So like when people toss nades into the objective, he has a counter system that just renders them like basically useless. The new guy, the defender guy, he has what's called the magnet system, and then what it does is when people toss grenades or anything in, it sucks up the grenades and it keeps them active. So it puts them on a delay timer. So when the enemies walk in, boom, they get toasted. And a lot of people wanted an alternative to playing that character Jaeger, because he was the only anti-grenade, anti-explosive character for the longest time. So he's going to be a big one that a lot of people are going to pick too. So all in all, this update, it has a couple of map changes in it, and it also introduces like where they have like an actual limb damage system now, to where like you get shot in the arm, like it's gonna affect you.
Okay.
So it's pretty awesome, and the thing is this will be a bit of a game changer for the game. But I've had people coming on Twitter like, oh, this new sniper, she's not the only sniper. There's this character and this character and this character that run a like a semi-auto, and it's like, look, a scoped semi-auto is not a sniper. Okay, you can snipe with the scoped semi-auto, but tell me, she's carrying a proper sniper rifle. We haven't had that before. So so to those people coming at me on Twitter trying to like debate, who the best sniper is, I mean, look, you're getting a chick that's like a legitimate sniper. Because I look at a sniper when you have like a 12x zoom and it's an actual sniper rifle. Yeah, she's a sniper. Anything that isn't that, I'm sorry, the person it has a scoped semi-auto. They're not a sniper.
Mm-hmm. I actually play a little bit with friends of mine every so often. It's a fun game. They take it really seriously though.
Yeah, Siege takes teamwork. I mean,
yeah.
you gotta be on your toes. You have to have map knowledge. You gotta have call outs. I like Siege from the standpoint of the fact that it's more like an old school feel, because I'm sure those of us that have played shooters back in the day, it kind of like that aspect where you actually had to like put some time and effort in to like learn maps, and then when you got your normal group of buddies you play with, you had to learn call outs.
Mm-hmm.
And if sometimes you just make call outs, and y'all had your own call outs, but it took teamwork and cohesiveness, man, because I feel like when you watch people play battle royales, they don't take as much skill as a traditional like tactical FPS.
Well, it's a different skill set. Battle royales are more it's more Twitch based. How your reaction time, and these other games like Siege is more. It's tactical. It's moving slowly, knowing where everybody is, and controlling your map. Battle royales is who reacts better. So,
I mean, obviously the gameplay is different. You play like the new Call of Duty game, it's a lot faster, I'm sure, but still same difference. It's tactical as opposed to like how battle royales play.
Twitch, you're twitchy, yeah.
Yeah, like man, I feel like John. I feel like you were probably a good FPS player back in the day.
I did not play first-person shooters.
Dude, last first-person shooter I did was GoldenEye.
Wow,
the last one I did.
I never liked them.
The first and last, huh? Wow, that's the first-person shooter, wasn't it? Other than Doom, but yeah,
that is a classic. I was skeptical about Rainbow Six Siege when I first started playing it when it came out, like about 3 years ago, and then I was like, I'm gonna give it some more time, and it grew on me. You know, I came from the school of playing like the old Ghost Recons, the SOCOM, Halo, and like the original Rainbow Six games, like that Rainbow Six 3 and Rainbow Six 3 Black Arrow. So you know, that stuff was dope. I mean, you had to be like hardcore tactical back then, man.
No, I grew up. I didn't grow up, but I started playing first. I didn't play my first person shooter until I was like 24 or 23. When Call of Duty 4 came out. By the time the second Modern Warfare 2 came out, I was still working at a community center. I was managing it, and we had kids that come through all the time. And I don't know how kids, how kids think. They're 16, 17, 18 years old. They look at a 23, 24-year-old. I'm old. They're calling me old. I'm like, okay. But you don't know you don't know how to play that. You don't know how to play Call of Duty, Phil. Like, yeah, I play a little bit. It's like, all right. And his friends came out the car. They started talking all this mess. I was like, this is kind of annoying. But like, all right, when I get home, I'll call my friends and you call your friends and we'll get online together. I put the bat signal out. I guess he didn't understand that you're a child. You get to play when your parents allow you to play. I'm a 23-year-old single guy. I am going to play until the crack of dawn. We're on different levels here,
bro. Oh man, I remember that. Like back in the day, man, on the old Rainbow Six games, and this was before they had like esports, right? So the only way you could do, like, if you had like a clan. The only way that you could play another clan was like they had
clan wars.
Yeah, you had to go on like game battles,
and clan wars.
Or team compete, and play people like that. You send a challenge to each other, and we did that. Like game battles actually put ladders and tournaments together.
Yeah,
remember the clan I had for Rainbow Six? We made playoffs like 3 different times, and the best we did was we got to semifinals once. So it was fun though, but I miss shooters like that. It's a lot.
It's a different day, but that's exactly what happened. He got his friend. I forgot his name. He got all his friends together. I sent a text out, and then it snowballed until like 12 of us showed up, and only like 8 of his guys showed up. So we did like a ground war thing. And I kid you not, it would, to win, it's like 75 points or 75 kills. Right. They never got above 25 anytime we played them. It was we weren't even talking about the game at one point. We were talking about everything else, and we're slaughtering these kids. And we're getting back into the lobby, and they're arguing with each other, and like people are walking out and quitting in the middle of the match. I'm like, oh well,
because them younger kids is funny, man. They thought they was just gonna like wreck people, and it's like, man, they don't realize, like, hey, man, we know some tactics. we know some tactics.
Come on, but like it was pretty bad. Like to this day, sometimes he'll bring it up, or he'll just not make eye contact. It's like it was pretty bad.
Yeah, man. those were the glory days, man. Back in like the early 2000s, like when first Xbox came out, man.
Oh yeah,
that was a good time. It was a good time, but yeah. So we got the Rainbow Six thing, and I know like John, something that is near and dear to your heart with the Pokemon game. Speaking of trending hashtags that we had last night between CM Punk trending and WWE backstage trending, we had
Sword and Shield,
a hashtag that said Game Freak Live trending, and so apparently, and I just submitted a story on this. It should be up on the site shortly, but the developer for Pokemon Sword and Shield, it doesn't look good for them right now, because data miners have gone through and they found that, a lot of the things that Game Freak has been saying about the game, the reason that they cut the Pokedex in half, basically cut out a lot of the Pokemon, is that supposedly it was going to be for graphical reasons. They were going to redo the art from scratch and everything else. That's why cuts had to be made. But it looks like,
yeah, there was some leaked footage.
yeah, it looks like that it just used they used old models
from previous Pokemon games. That's what this leaked footage
Mm-hmm.
seems to show. I will say that they did release the Metacritic scores from some of the reviewers, and for the most part, it was all pretty positive. I did see a couple like they said it was mixed, but their little blurb seemed more negative than mixed. But for the most part, it all seemed rather positive, and it sounds like the core functions of of like what you expect from a Pokemon game is still there. And then they added a lot. They streamlined a couple of stuff to make it a little bit better. So I think of a national Pokedex thing might be a little bit blown out of proportion. But the copying the models and stuff, and I think that just the like the potential lie, that I think that's actually like pretty bad if that ends up being true. With those copied models, and the reason why they couldn't do the full Pokedex was because of the graphics. I think that's an issue, and I think that's something that a lot of these video game companies are learning the hard way.
There's a lot of features that were cut too, though, John. I mean, they cut powers, they cut a ton of stuff. There's extra cutscene restriction, and
I think they added a lot. They added a lot of stuff too, though, from what I've been seeing. There's a lot of like new features and everything as well, which you see in games that are like Pokemon, where you're having new stuff and they're always like tweaking and making changes and taking things out and adding new things. But yeah, no, I'm still optimistic about the game. But we'll see. I think the issue, though, there is a trust issue there, and I think that's probably the biggest issue.
I don't necessarily think it's going to be a bad game per se. I just think that, you get a situation like this where obviously, I mean, you guys, we understand this from like, no matter what fandom you come across, you have like any kind of thing like this, it can split a fandom. And, with as long as this hashtag was trending, so many people talking about it, and I was reading through some of the responses. This whole situation has been divisive as hell. So
definitely.
So I don't think that this is going to be as disastrous a launch as Fallout 76, but there's the risk of this company being looked at the same way that Bethesda is looked at now by the Fallout fan base.
Yeah, I think that's probably the big issue. Is the trust issue that you have. The one thing that Pokemon probably has going for it is that it seems like it's like their hardcore fan base are the ones that are like really pissed off, but the Pokemon fan base is just insanely large now with Pokemon Go and Detective Pikachu. So it's just a lot. It is way bigger than just the core Pokemon games because they have all of the offshoots with all the mobile games, and then they have their like Let's Go game, and then they have people who maybe just like the movies and then the TV show.
Right.
So their audience, the Pokemon audience, is much more diversified than say Fallout, where it's just a video game, which could be a little different. But I do think there is a trust issue with that is cropping up here, and I do think there's a lot of comparisons with what you're seeing with Bethesda, with what we saw with what was it, Battlefield last year, I think was Battlefield was having all those issues, and obviously they admitted that their sales sucked and the game was a failure. And you had a lot of trust issues there where they were saying that, hey, we're going to keep this game based on history, and then it wasn't, and then they started attacking their fans and all that other stuff. And the one thing we haven't seen is they aren't attacking fans yet. So, but they are being called out on some stuff, but they haven't started like attacking the actual like customers.
Nothing's gonna top Fallout 76, dude. I don't.
Dude, the Battlefield stuff was pretty bad too.
Yeah, that was
like that stuff was really, really bad.
But I don't think it's gonna top Fallout 76, man.
Well,
have you gotten the Fallout whatever that new subscription is?
No, but there was
shipping moldy bags or whatever.
$100 a month or something that you have to pay for the subscription.
There was a guy that tried to get a refund, and you know, we got this story up, right, John?
Yeah, they banned this guy who found like a game-breaking exploit. People were getting like legendary loot through this exploit. He and his like team reported it after like testing, and then they banned him, and they refused to give him a refund.
They refused to give him a refund. He had one of those subscriptions you're talking about, Todd.
Yeah, and then he ran this like map 76, which was like an interactive map that players could use to like help find locations
and loot.
It's just
like that.
It's ridiculous.
I know Angry Joe's channel just lambast Bethesda for everything.
It's just been really, really bad.
They are complete like crap though when it comes to like supporting Fallout, man. It's been like nothing but a whole saga of like lies and it seems like bait and switches with
and money grabs.
Yeah, it's bad, dude. And I don't blame the player base for losing faith in them. I mean, there's a small amount of players like with any game that stick around, you know, and it's like I don't know if it's just loyalty or Stockholm syndrome at this point, but they're
Stockholm syndrome.
but you know, I mean, seriously, I
love the abuse.
Yeah, I mean, to have a company just be that way toward a player base. I mean,
so what does that do for like future
Battlefield?
Titles
they didn't buy the game, so we'll see what happens with the next Fallout release. Whether people actually stick around.
Elder Scrolls.
I do think that there's a difference between Elder Scrolls and Fallout. I mean, because Elder Scrolls Online really hasn't had any issues, and
I don't think they're gonna ever do another Fallout MMO again. It'll be something.
I think you'll see a single player, but we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, they're gonna go back to the formula of like Fallout 3 and New Vegas. They're not gonna go the way of MMO ever again.
All right, well, we're at 11:10 right now. So do you guys want to do one more topic and dive into these James Bond reports?
Lashana Lynch?
Yeah, so the Daily Mail, who has been scooping, has been putting up some James Bond scoops over the past year, has another one. See if I can pull it up here.
Report right now.
Yeah, so the new film Time to Die has reportedly banned the phrase Bond Girl from the set. So Bond Girl obviously is the iconic name for the hot female actresses and characters in the James Bond movies, and apparently that has been banned. And I actually kind of buy into this report. And my biggest piece of evidence, or like why I actually like believe the report, is that the recent cover for the Hollywood Reporter's like actual magazine featured Lashana Lynch and Ana de Armas, the two actresses aside from Leah Seydow that will be in No Time to Die, and in big, bright, bold white letters it says Bond Women. Instead of Bond Girls, and so I definitely think that's a big piece of key evidence on like why I kind of think this might be true. But what do you guys think of like them banning Bond girls from the set? That just seems ridiculous, doesn't it?
Oh God, man, it's let's get our fifis in a fluff over
Over words.
so stupid. I mean, come on, most of the actresses over the years that have had a role in a Bond film have proudly owned that title. They've said it themselves. Hey, look, I was proud to be a Bond girl.
Raquel Welch.
Trina Parks, when she was talking about that when the reports that Lashana Lynch's character was going to be referred to as 007, she was like, she was honored to be in the Bond film.
Yeah, I mean, it's just more like SJW madness, man. It's like they want to inject woke into the franchise, which obviously we know what's going to happen with this movie. Well, we've seen the indications from who's behind the scenes to who's in front of the camera, and it's just we already know where it's headed. This might be headed to Terminator proportions of bad.
It's kind of reminiscent of, remember that report where Bryan Singer did not allow the cast of X-Men to read any comics?
Yeah.
It's kind of like disrespecting kind of the source material, kind of like the roots of where this all started.
Oh, absolutely is. I mean, Ian Fleming's rolling in his grave, dude. Come on.
Yeah, that was bad. But what they're doing with James Bond could have been. Here's what the idea they had behind making Lynch's character 007 wasn't a bad idea. It was how they presented it. It all comes down to how you want to do things. What they could have done is do the James Bond movie, have her as a character in it, see if it has some kind of resonance with the fan base, and then go from there. But instead, they put the horse before the cart. Said, we're going to do this before she's even been in a movie yet. It's like, take your time, do it right, build the character out, and yeah, if you're introducing her as not as James Bond or Jamesy, whatever you want to say, if she's not
007, they were just going to call her 007.
That's fine. But the way they did it, it's like they're trying to force their way into the zeitgeist of today and all this wokeness. It's like you didn't have to put it that way. All you had to do was introduce the character properly, build the character out, and then do it organically. Instead, you're trying to force feed it to everyone, and they were trying to build hype for the movie off of an act that hasn't been done yet, and that's just it's virtue signaling. It's ridiculous. So.
Well, because the report I'm looking at is that after fan backlash,
the Daily Mail reported that they changed that to they're going to call her 001 now instead of 007. She's going to like that's what the new report says after their original report.
Yeah, and I mean, and that goes back to the question, like, how hard is it? I mean, we don't have a problem with there being female agents, like female, like prominent characters. That's fine.
There have always been prominent female agents in Bond.
Give them an original designation. Give them originality. Don't just say, oh, well, we're just tagging you with the same thing. Give them an original personality and origin.
I feel like the Bond movies have always, I mean, since Pierce Brosnan, even before that, there have always, even a lot of the Sean Connery, there's always been these interesting female characters in the Bond franchise.
I don't think they should go for Bond franchise for a female agent, though. They already have a franchise kind of set up in all our minds, and I think we haven't talked about it. Perfect Dark.
Oh, dude, that is a classic. I love that game. God,
I mean, Joanna Dark. It writes itself.
Well, they already had something like that with Angelina Jolie's Salt, which I love that movie. I'm not sure why they didn't make a franchise off of it. I thought the movie was great. I actually have it on. I own it on Blu-ray. I love that movie. I don't know why it didn't catch on, but there's been a couple, female agent stories out there that they could have ran with for a long while. They just
Halle Berry's character.
Yeah. What was her name?
I don't know. I can see her coming out of the ocean though.
Yeah, I remember that scene.
It started with like a T. I feel like
it was a single word. I remember that.
It was one word.
Yeah.
She was like an American though. Looking it up.
Oh, Jinx.
Jinx, not a T.
There it is. Thank you, script
Jinx.
doctor.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, they're like there's so many that they could have done. Like I didn't Halle Berry actually she retain the rights to do a Jinx movie?
She did.
I thought so back in the day, but nothing ever came of it. Like it never
It was probably the same time around Catwoman.
Maybe
and they just said no.
Yeah, that Catwoman probably did a lot of things for her for a while. It actually did. Catwoman kind of killed her career for a little while. So
yeah, here Variety has an article from 2008. Variety's website is sucking right now. Why we never saw Alfred Hitchcock's Bond and three more lost 007 movies. One of those is a Jinx solo film. I'm pretty sure. Halle Berry's Jinx spinoff. Come on, stop. There we go. The concept of a female-driven spinoff series originated in 1997 with the Bond thriller Tomorrow Never Dies. Malaysian actress Michelle, I'm going to butcher her name, the chick from Discovery, Michelle Yeoh?
Yeah, Yeoh.
Whose charisma and fighting skills made her a superstar on the Hong Kong action film circuit. Starred as Wei Lin,
Dragon,
a master spy in China's elite secret service. The character proved so popular that MGM briefly considered developing a solo film around her. When that didn't pan out, producers decided to bring her back from the O2 Bond film Die Another Day. Unfortunately, scheduling conflicts prevented Yeoh's return. Word of a spin-off series involving Halle Berry's character Jinx from Die Another Day began circulating while the film was still in theaters. Rumors hinted at a planned winter release in 2004. Bond screenwriters Neil Purvis and Robert Wade were hired to write the script, and though it was never officially announced, Stephen Frears was on board to direct, said Chris Wright. But in late October of the following year, MGM pulled the plug. So there was a Jinx solo movie that was in development at MGM. So script doctor, I actually want to bring this up because I don't think I buy this at all. A golden rule of Hollywood is never try to make a sequel to a movie before the first movie is released. Adaptations are the only exception. Solo definitely was already set up for a sequel. The Terminator franchise, James Cameron was talking about doing a trilogy off this new Terminator franchise.
The Hunger Games, Avatar, which we haven't seen yet.
Well,
Avatar.
Hunger Games is an adaptation, though.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But
Avatar.
No.
Was Avatar really set up for sequels?
They said there's
already. Or was that after the first one?
After the first one, they said there's going to be 4 more.
Yeah, he's filming he's filming them all at once right now, I think. So it's going to happen.
So Die Another Day was 2004. Die Another Day was 2002. Catwoman was 2004.
That's when they axed Jinx. They axed Jinx in
yeah.
And when was
2005?
When was Swordfish and when was Monsters Ball?
That was early in her career.
Swordfish was great. I love that movie.
Oh yeah, that was
I don't know how it did at the box office though.
That's a cult classic.
She showed herself. That's what that didn't hurt things.
2001 was Swordfish.
2001.
So that got her the role in Die Another Day. And
I'm sure that got her a lot of roles.
Catwoman.
My goodness. But yeah.
Monsters Ball was also 2001.
Once Upon a Time was 2001. It was that long ago.
Oh, yep.
So she did Catwoman after she got the Oscar.
She did
Yeah, I think
Catwoman.
so.
Yeah.
Oh, she went
She did
backwards.
Yeah,
Die Another Day happened, and then she did Catwoman, and then they saw Catwoman and said, "Nah, we'll pass on the Jinx solo film."
Oh,
I'm not
Okay,
saying
so-
that's officially what happened. I'm just saying that's probably what happened.
So I think I might have misinterpreted what Script Doctor originally said. So he says here, followed it up. Yup, and that's why those originals didn't perform well. So the golden rule is if you do, if you're already setting up something for a sequel, it's probably going to bomb. But they obviously break that rule all the time for planning sequels before you know you have a success or not. Maybe they should follow John Wick.
like Jumper.
But yeah, I mean, John Wick, I think, is the perfect example now. I had no idea that it was going to be a hit, became a hit, and now they're on movie 4. And are keep going.
Matrix.
That's exactly. I was just about to bring that up, Don. The Matrix.
Matrix. So it's Keanu Reeves, and he's the key.
Yeah, you need Keanu Reeves.
Bill and Ted.
But I wanted to get back to Bond a little bit here. So, along with them not saying there's going to be any Bond girls.
Yeah.
Back to the Future. That was set up automatically for a sequel.
Yes, that one was. And I think it worked out though, right?
Yeah, I think it worked out a little bit.
Worked out pretty well.
A little bit.
We aren't getting any more sequels though.
Aren't you the one who's the one that told us that the creator, it was you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. he's no more sequels.
Wise man.
But with Bond here, he's also going to apparently he's going to get married to Leah Seydoux's character, Madeline Swan. But there's going to be a scene right after their wedding night in bed. Bond's going to wake up and say, what does he say here? He says, "Good morning, Mrs. Bond." And she's going to respond and say, "Don't you mean Miss Swan?" So
keeping her name.
Maybe, yeah. So she's keeping her name. Maybe she just hasn't legally changed it yet. Who knows? Because I know that takes quite a bit to do. With all the paperwork and all that stuff.
No, sometimes it has to do with immigration, like
that too.
My wife on several papers is my last name Pratt, but she has to keep her her last name because of her green card or whatever she has or whatever it is. She had to change everything to make that match, and I wasn't going to push her to go through all that. So.
Script Doctor is telling us that Back to the Future To Be Continued was done as a joke, and it took them 4 years to realize a sequel. Bob Gale didn't want to do it.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. But yeah, so she's not taking his name, and then what else was there? They said that he's going to use an electric vehicle, an electric Aston Martin called the Aston Martin Rapid E, but the Sunday Times says that that's like they don't believe that's true. They actually spoke with a spokesperson from Aston Martin who says that car will not be in the film. Instead, they're going to be using the V8 Vantage that was in the Living Daylights, the DB5 which was in Goldfinger, and then this new Aston Martin Valhalla, which looks similar to Tony Stark's Audi.
Can they screw this
supercar?
Or
and then apparently the villain is trying to use a deadly algae to destroy the world's oceans.
Oh, the eco-terrorist. Okay. Like Captain Planet. Gotcha.
Yeah, or what's his name? Samuel L. Jackson was like
Just
murdering
that
everyone
movie.
to save the environment. And he was putting chips in people's heads, which sounds what what's his name is going to do in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What's his name? Helmet
Zemo.
Zemo. Yeah,
Oh,
Helmet Zemo.
Emmett
Yeah.
Zemo, the Mad Hatter.
Mad Hatter.
Yeah. He does that too. So yeah. So this Bond stuff is I don't know. It looks like it's the next Terminator to me. So
Pretty much. That's what it's shaping up to be, man. It's going to be, oh, God, it's going to be a wreck.
So in this Hollywood Reporter interview that Lashana Lynch gave, apparently she talked about like in the script that her character is going. So this is what she told the Hollywood Reporter. We had one conversation about her maybe being on her period in one scene and maybe at the beginning of the scene. And I spoke to Carrie about this, throwing her tampon in the thing, like in the trash can. So, and then she also said, I didn't want someone who was slick. I wanted someone who was rough around the edges. She's talking about what she wanted her character to be like, who was rough around the edges and who has a past and a history and has issues with her weight and maybe questions what's going on with her boyfriend as she's getting hit on by Bond, most likely. Like, I don't know.
Sounds so interesting.
It sounds like not like a Bond movie that I want to see.
No, God, man, that sounds god awful.
No one wants to see real life. Jeez.
I mean,
There's a reason why there are no toilets in Star Trek. We don't want to see that.
Well, actually, there was a toilet in that scene.
There's a toilet in Star Wars. They put it in the Mandalorian.
But in Star Trek, there's no toilets. Think about it.
oh, man. I mean, really?
Nobody wants to see that.
Really?
U.S. Dutch Kitty says, as a woman, I don't want to hear that stuff.
Exactly. See, she's right. I mean, good God. Nobody wants to go to the theater for that garbage. It's like, man, leave that particular detail out of my movie, please.
Yeah, no one wants. I mean, the only time where I feel like anything like that is like mildly appropriate for a film is in a film like what is it? Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, and they're playing a version of Battleship. Do you remember? You guys remember that scene?
No.
Yeah.
No, they're in the toilets and they're playing Battleship.
Are you talking about the two women?
No, it was. Yeah, I think no. I thought they were in the maybe it was
I've watched that movie one
or,
time. I don't remember what happened to it. What happened during it?
They make that joke, haha, battleships.
Yes, that's it. I wasn't going to say the curse word, but yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, and I think Script Doctor's right. It's supposed to be. It has to be a comedic scene or an action set piece, which they did a good job of that in Mission Impossible, with the bathroom scene in Mission Impossible, where they gotta like take the guy out, but it's not like. Or
in the case of Halloween, you can use it as a murder scene.
Or in Game of Thrones, where Tyrion kills his father while he's on the can.
U.S. Dutch Kitty, the lawyer running to the porta potty in Jurassic Park. Perfect example of where that works.
Messed up. Yeah.
He gets eaten while he's on the toilet. There, True Lies bathroom scene. I'm trying to. Oh yeah. That was
funny.
Too.
Yeah,
that was a funny scene. Took me a little bit to remember.
Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon.
But yeah, you don't make it serious, which is what it sounds like that she was trying to make it be, like serious. It's like, no, don't need that.
No,
especially in a Bond movie, it takes away from like that. It takes away from the mystique of Bond. So
yeah, you don't need all that stupid like real life minutia. I mean, you just leave that out. The Bond movies are supposed to be elegant. They have a certain pace about them.
Escapism.
They're escapist, like, thriller action movies. And, you don't need
with cool gadgets.
Yes, exactly. I mean, oh, good God, man. Why?
I was talking to my dad at lunch today, and one of my favorite Bond films is Never Say Never Again with Sean Connery and Kim Basinger. And he has to stop a terrorist who has gotten control of a nuclear warhead from a U.S. airbase that was launched like illegally, because Kim Basinger's like brother is like this U.S. Air Force captain who he like manipulates to launch this missile that he like picks up and is like carrying around on his yacht. But it has a lot of like interesting things for an 80s film. It has a different take on like a casino game, and you have to hold on to the it's a world domination game, and if you start losing, you feel the pain in the joysticks, and like I thought that was just like a really interesting different concept on like how like Bond's Casino Royale, he's like playing poker. So it's not only is he like matching wits with this villain, but he's also having to endure the pain and try and like outwill him as well. And then it also had the really freaking sweet jetpack that he like launches up out of the submarine. So there was some like really cool stuff in that Bond film, which I really like that one.
Yep.
I was thinking back to the watch laser in GoldenEye.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty cool too.
I couldn't wait to use it in the game. I was like, yes, I have it. Found out it was the weakest weapon there.
Oh my gosh, Script Doctor, please tell me this is not true. That's a Dave Chappelle joke.
No, that's a comic book, isn't there? It's like one of those
Yo,
weird
yes,
writers.
it's that freaking it's what's her name? We did that. Oh my
I'll
gosh,
have
it is
to
a comic
read this
book.
comic.
Oh, we've covered
I
that. We've done
remember.
multiple stories on
Is
that.
the women that they eat people or something, or the women?
They're like werewolves or whatever.
And they're something.
Keep
She's
going.
the one who said she got like bullied off of Twitter when she did her like make that shirt on the she did the Mockingbird
Yeah,
comic book series.
Title.
it's not
And-
Bitch Planet, is it? No.
No, Bitch Planet is not. It's an Image Comics series.
But
She
no,
was-
I know I've seen
Chelsea
it.
Kane. Chelsea
Kane.
Kane is the writer. The series has been accused of it's called Man Eaters.
Man Eaters.
Ah,
Yeah,
there
it's
we
called
go.
Man
Yeah.
Eaters.
Someone
I
was
found
getting
it.
eaten.
Where did I search for to find that?
Let's read that tonight.
Search
Give us some
Mockingbird.
Nightmares.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's Mockingbird. That's also a Chappelle joke with where he like has to like tap the people to get his superpowers. Remember?
I don't remember, but it sounds like Save Chappelle.
It's part of his oh my gosh, what is the guy who was accused of taking advantage of all those women back in the day? Bill Cosby. Is a Bill Cosby joke.
Ah,
It was part of his
Oh.
Bill Cosby stand up.
interesting.
Man. Yeah.
So there's a Man Eaters pitch going around Hollywood too, Script Doctor, along with this one.
Well, there's two different pitches, so we might see
Please.
two of them.
No.
Hope not.
Oh gosh. Please not. Please no.
I don't think it'll get past the. No, I don't think so.
Just kill it.
I know, please.
Where's that meme? Kill it with fire.
Yeah, exactly.
We couldn't get a
All right,
Gambit
when it
movie made.
when
This
it
is
comes
not-
out, do you want me to review it? That's the thing.
Oh God. Oh God.
Of course. Of course. Oh, there's a few of them. Huh. All right. I think we had a pretty good show tonight. Is there anything else y'all wanted to touch on?
I'm good.
You're still waiting for Fallen Order, right?
Yeah. Just want to remind everybody in chat, if you're, I know most of you guys are Star Wars fans, stop in tomorrow night. I'll make sure I start around. It'll be probably closer to 12:30. We'll start. This will obviously be after midnight because they won't allow us access to the game until then. So I'll probably fire up the stream somewhere in that 12:20 to 12:30 window because I want to give myself a few minutes there at midnight just to see if I got to download something or not. I already have it preloaded, but I'll probably have to download a couple of kilobyte patch so it authorizes the game and whatnot. So it'll take a few minutes, but we'll start around that 12:20, 12:30 window, and we'll play through the story, and you guys can hang out and watch as I go through the game. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So we'll have the Jedi Fallen Order launch stream tomorrow, and yeah, that's pretty much what I got going on. Normally on Thursday, I do on my channel, I do a panel.
Hold on, let me interrupt you here. Is that going to be on your Supreme Heretic YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Fallen Order.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll do it on the Supreme Heretic YouTube channel. Normally on Thursday we do what's called Battlestar Galactica Chat, which Script Doctor there in chat. Shout out to him. He's a regular co-host on my panel for that, and Kronos Chiron, as I said earlier, reach out to Script Dr. Ryan. We'll get you on as a future guest as well to discuss some BSG. But yeah, normally on Thursday we do our BSG panel, but I think I may hold off on doing that tomorrow because of the Jedi Fallen Order stream. So we might postpone that till next week. But normally on Thursday you guys can catch that. And we also have our review of Treadstone rolled into that. So
yes, got something to watch.
So
all right,
that's
Don.
what we got.
All right, sweet. Yeah, so make sure you subscribe to Drew's channel. Put the link in the chat there. Should be a good time. All right, Don, you're up.
Oh yeah. So my channel somewhere in there. I'm in the chat. If you click on my name, I think you can go to
I just
okay,
linked
never
you.
mind, you just linked it in. Anyway, so yeah, I should have a video coming out tomorrow discussing some of the Netflix characters, some of their continuity, and some of the mainstays that they have in the audience's mind, and why I believe Disney would be making a grave mistake by not picking up these characters and their reiterations from the Netflix series. And I think even like Ghost Rider, which really made an impact for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., especially during this. Yeah. But yeah, it'll be a fun discussion. I'm going to delve into it, and I'd love to have some people hear what I have to think. And I'd love to have some people comment on and see what they think too.
Sweet. I already have opinions, even though I haven't even seen your video yet. All right, Phil, you got anything for us?
Just watch out for my my articles I put out every so often. I'm doing more with the amount of X-Men, stuff that's coming down the pipe. So just look out for that.
You got one on Fallen Angels coming out?
I'm probably gonna be working on that tomorrow. That was a really dope book. I mean, those first two conversations that Psylocke had with Magneto and then with Mr. Sinister, I was like, oh wow, this is gonna be a good run. So,
yeah.
Just wait till MCU X-Men come around. You'll be super busy.
Well, we'll see what they do with it first. So.
Yeah, guys, make sure that you check out our awesome writing staff for boundingintocomics.com. I mean, we put out new articles every day. We're constantly keeping up on pop culture and entertainment and all the relevant good stuff for you guys. And you can always count on us to give you a real opinion. We don't have like any shill or skewed opinions. We'll give you the real deal. So, make sure that you come and check us out. Don is a gifted writer. Phil is awesome with the stuff that he does. He's also a gifted writer. And, our editor-in-chief, John F. Trent, needs no introduction. The man is a beast. He's great at what he does. So
we're actually China shills. That's where we are. We actually shill for China.
Yeah, that's how I was able to throw all that money.
According to some of people who were reading our articles about Blitzchung and Blizzard. So yeah, I just want to point that out. That's a point of correction there, Drew.
Oh man, yeah, I need
Chinese yuan.
Somebody buy me a Winnie the Pooh onesie, please.
I'm gonna use the force on you, Don, and reach through and grab the money, like what we're gonna see in the Rise of Skywalker, apparently, where like Rey passes a lightsaber through the force. Oh, it's gonna be so horrible. No. All right. On that note, y'all have a good night. Y'all have a good night.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for joining us, and we do this every Wednesdays at 9 p.m. We will be back on Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, to review episode 2 of The Mandalorian. So
I'll be a little late.
That's fine. Join in. But 9 p.m. we'll try and start that. Hopefully I'll be able to get that. I will be driving down to North Carolina on Friday, and staying with my sister down there. So that should hopefully everything gets squared away, and I'll be able to like watch it and get everything going there. So I'm not expecting any troubles, but we should. That's when we'll be doing our next episode 2. I don't even know what it's called, but episode 2 of The Mandalorian, 9:00 Eastern time on Friday, and then once again Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, 9:00 Eastern time, we have our Bounding Live panel. And hopefully Jorge will be able to join us next week. He had a flat tire on his way home from work and was not able to make it. So
you should have just blown into it.
That's what Drew suggested.
Nobody?
All right, y'all. Have a good night. And Script Doctor will be joining us for Mandalorian review, so that should be a lot of fun.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Y'all, have a good night.
Have a good night.